What up, though? I am your host, Mr. Always on 10. I would like to thank you for coming to the Intelligent Idiots podcast. And I am sleepy. I wanted to kind of just doom scroll and just do some reading, read some manga, read some manhwa. If you don't know what that is, you aren't a real nerd or my type of nerd. And we're on air. I was like, wait, hold on. I've been messing up. I haven't been giving you guys episodes every Monday, like I promised to. Every Monday, 8 a.m. Like, subscribe, comment, all that bullshit for the algorithm. So more people can see me yap to you, specifically. Specifically to you. Yeah, you, the one listening. But if you're listening to me and not watching, maybe not you. No, I'm fucking with you. Wait, what's the vibes? I didn't want to regret anything. All right. Personally, I hate the thought of regretting things. Me, truly, I think of it like, why regret something, especially something you can't change? Most things you can't change. And so why sit on it, regret, feel bad, if you aren't truly thinking about changing, right? You do something, you did something happened in the past, and you can't change that. But you can move forward through life and make sure that you act in a certain way, make sure you maneuver in a certain way so that it doesn't happen again. So you can make sure life is better for yourself and for others. You have no reason to regret. I mean, think about it. If you go back into time and you change your alcoholic father, you make him not beat you, right? Great for childhood you. And through the laws of, I don't know, Hot Tub Time Machine, never saw the movie. I should see the movie. And the sequel, if the sequel isn't ass, you cease to exist. And or, because I never saw the movie, you create an entirely new timeline. And so you go back to the future or your present, and it's not there, and you're floating through space and time, or nothingness, or you cease to exist right there, and little child you gets a completely different life and becomes a completely different person. So if you were to think of it as changing your past, everything moving forward changes. And do you truly want to change integral parts of who you are? Parts of yourself that you absolutely love. And I start this little bit of yapping because today's theme, if you didn't know, is regrets, right? It's supposed to be regrets / something else, but that's what I ended up searching stories for. What was it? Regrets. I got so many notes on my phone. Regrets / advice. So I'm going to give advice to people who are regretting things, but the theme is still regrets, right? Right. Yeah, I've decided. So let's vibe out. We're over in r/Am I the Asshole with a post by a deleted user. Am I the asshole for telling my best friend I'll support her, but not to come to me with her regrets later? My best friend, 22 female, is finishing her bachelor's in the summer and works in a very creative field where her career will absolutely require her to get a master's and take a lot of opportunities in other cities / countries. She has the talent and drive to make it big in her field. Every professor or job she's taken so far has said as much, and the assessment of industry professionals is the same. If she is disciplined and works hard and takes every opportunity made available to her, she could literally become world famous in her field. That's her best friend. That obviously makes me incredibly proud. This has been her dream and the entire focus of her life since she started down this path at 14. Earlier today, we were talking on the phone. Lock in right now. And she dropped on me that she and her boyfriend, they've been together for 8 months, have decided not to use condoms anymore, and that if she gets pregnant, that'll just be it. She's always been flaky about protection, and so has boyfriend. They didn't use condoms until I literally sat them down a month into the relationship after a pregnancy scare and shamed them into using them. They can't use hormonal-based protection anymore because my best friend's mental health reacts poorly to it. There's a whole nother conversation we need to have about birth control. I was honestly livid. She has her whole life ahead of her, a whole career she's been striving towards, and a child would not just maybe bar her from those chances, it would absolutely make them impossible. This honestly just sounds like laziness and an excuse to not use condoms. I've supported her through a lot of decisions that I thought were not in her best interest, like moving in with her new boyfriend and foregoing doing a master's in a bigger city just to stay with him. She's stigmatized. And so I told her that I would support her if she became pregnant, but that I would not ever want to hear a single word of regret from her if that ever happened. She asked me what I meant, and I laid it out for her. The fact that she would most likely have to put her career on hold, that her boyfriend would not stay home so she could pursue her work, as he said himself. He's a very traditional sort of macho guy. At 22. That the pregnancy would impact her body, that etc. Then I said again that I love her and that she's my best friend forever, BFF, for a reason, and that I'd always support her. But if she really went through with this, I would not be there to listen to her regrets, should she have any. And I told her that I personally thought she would regret it. She started crying and told me that I was horrible and an asshole. I told her it was tough love, as she apparently needed after being cooped up with her boyfriend for 2 weeks without any outside input. She hung up on me. So, am I the asshole? Nope. 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 And I've read this twice, and even with me thinking your language is a little strong and you may come off, this is the kind of knock on the head that she needs, because obviously 7 months ago, she thought shit was sweet getting nutted in left and right. No. Party people, party people, party people. I know it may feel good to do a draw. And even for those who are on birth control, I know it may feel good, but having an extra layer of protection is necessary. OP is not the asshole with this one whatsoever. Honestly, she's the godsend if her best friend takes her advice to make her boyfriend continue to use condoms. Honestly, I can see it just from his end of things. He's manipulating her. And she's 22. They're all probably 22, early 20s. They're dumb. Even if this girl is going for her master's and she's about to be amazing, spectacularly smart. Socially, what's the word I'm looking for? Comment down below if you can figure out the word I'm trying to think of. Maybe it's a phrase, right? But she is not mentally developed enough to understand the consequences that comes along with maneuvering through life like this, right? Like, think about you if you're in your 30s or 40s. You wouldn't make dumbass decisions like these. You wouldn't be like, oh, my boyfriend that I've just been with for a month, let's go ahead and have sex every single day with no condoms, and I don't use birth control. And hey, I'm on this very difficult, hard path where I'm going to be working 6-7 days a week, 12 hours, and I can't get pregnant right now. Otherwise, that would destroy my career. Nutting me. If I get pregnant, it's whatever. What's the word I'm looking for? Right? Because when I look back, I'm 31. I'm Unc, if you're younger than me, because I'm the cool uncle. Unc doesn't mean you're old. It means you're the cool uncle, right? I'm the uncle that absolutely stepped up. I'm the uncle who would absolutely, in a video game, stump a hole in someone's head that does something wrong to you. Because you're my wonderful nibblings. My niece and nephews know this. And if they don't, and they just so happen to see this episode for this exact moment of space and time, you let me know. I'll bury a motherfucker for you. Point blank, period. Right? Unless it's your fuck up. And then you know, I'll just help you hide the body in a video game in GTA 6. Yep. If you're going to play GTA 6, I won't. In a video game. Yeah. All video games should come on disc. It's a separate conversation. Yeah. But when I think back to being like 25 and then I think back to being 20 and then let's just say 18, just to keep adult legal years, progressively rewinding, I cared less. I knew less, so I was a more ignorant person compared to how I am now, to the knowledge I have. I was dumber, right? And the random shit that I did. Undiagnosed, unmedicated ADHD me, I did whatever the fuck I wanted. That's literally how I became Mr. Always on 10. Me as a teenager in art class and Mr. Tyus's art class. A girl one day asked me why I was always on 10, and I told her it's because I'm Mr. Always on 10, right? Very truly, to the T. It represents my personality. But the older I get, the more I don't always do things that are on 10, right? You can't let those intrusive thoughts rule you because you might do some shit that is illegal. You might do some shit that makes you look not the best in someone's eyes, and you don't want them to view you in such a way, right? There's a time and place for everything, right? But there's not always a place and a time to do whatever. I like that phrasing better, right? It's a little less restrictive, right? There's not always a place and always a time to just, let me take a, how about in a crowd full of people, you decide, oh man, I got to take a shit on the ground in front of a bunch of people. Yeah, that's not the place or the time, right? Not the place or the time. Find an alley if you can't find a business, right? Or a porta potty that's outside, right? But don't just. Let's read a comment. Let's read a comment. Top comment by Expert Dress. Info. Did you ever consider that this may just be a cop-out on her part? Getting pregnant to deliberately sabotage her future? And OP. Luckily enough, I was able to find these comments, despite her profile being deleted. Or his? Her. I think it was her. Their profile being deleted. OP says in reply, good point. And yes, she's prone to doing stuff like that. And we've had a lot of discussions in the past about how she tries to go to the easier route because she thinks her dreams are too big and unachievable for her. Oh, wow. So this is like consciously and unconsciously her fucking her shit up. See, I was ready to like blame the boyfriend since he's like macho and traditional. I should have said macho with the quotations as well. I don't know. Maybe she also got with him to ruin her life because if he's macho and she's digmatized to the point where she's having a pregnancy scare a month in, you're in college going for your master's and you're doing jobs as well on the side. How do you have time to get enough dick to get a pregnancy scare within 1 month of being in a relationship? How? I can't fathom that. I work 6 days a week and I'm like, bruh, I got a podcast to do. I don't even want to see people. I don't even want to see family. Go on a date, enough dates to get somebody knocked up or at least have a pregnancy scare. No. So, damn, I guess it's just a self-destructive personality trait. I wonder where that comes from. She's prone to doing stuff like that, and we've had a lot of discussions in the past about how she tries to go the easier route because she thinks her dreams are too big and unachievable for her. See, that's like she's internalizing some negativity, maybe from her parents, because of all the people that she's worked with. And like, what are these? Professors, industry professionals, right? They're saying, hey, if you're disciplined, you could become famous, world famous in your field with just a master's. What? And their parents fucked up. Yeah. See, like 25 and below, I'm always blaming the parents. All right. Now, if you're doing some wild ass things at like 18 to 25, I can like do less blaming of the parents. But even this is wild. I don't know. There would be like specific things, but the parents, again, the environment, the socialization in the environment that she grew up in, and the friends, is those like three major things. And then like school, music, and television, the media, social media. I say school, but friends. But you can have friends outside of school, right? I really, when I say school, I mean teachers. Social media needs to be like the fourth thing, and that needs to be a major thing at this point for anybody now, 2026. Any zillennial and any no, actually, yeah, actually, the generations don't matter. You can get roped in and have your mind changed at any age by social media. So, parents get it first, then the overall environment around you, right, which can get segmented down. The socialization of your environment. Damn, what's a bigger influence, you guys? Are you going to say social media or friends? What's a bigger influence? These are going to be the four major ones. But back to the story, her parents fucked her up with this. They instilled some low self-esteem to the point where she has like negative thoughts about herself not winning, despite her being the shit. An expert dress replies to OP saying, sounds like she's cracking under pressure and doesn't want to live up to the hype/pressure surrounding her chosen career path. I don't get it. Monster Peanut replies, well, maybe they are. How many people do make it really big? Maybe 1 in 10,000, maybe fewer. And almost all work extremely hard year in, year out. Lots of powerful/really successful women choose to not have kids because when you're 20 to 40, you need to be working on that career to have any chance of making it big. Having a child or multiple will basically slash those tiny chances of making it really big into an even smaller piece. Maybe she's realized that having a decent career is good enough. She's still super young. Maybe she's just burnt out. She should find a birth control that is tolerable for her and just take the next academic year off. Maybe a simple job, traveling, volunteering, just to get some perspective. I spent 10 years in uni, and then I got my STEM PhD from an Ivy League uni and found myself not wanting the most obvious careers and having had a miserable time for the last 4 of those 10. Now that's interesting. But they said it right there. I wanted to like lock in on this point, but not during the story. Birth control. I think the earliest birth control was several decades ago. I want to say 50 years ago. I want to say the 70s, but maybe earlier than that. The 60s or the 50s. The current pill form that was also the one that got studied for men that they were going to give to men, and then when they went to the trial phases, they found that the side effects were that men would have feelings of what's the word I'm looking for? What's the phrase? Suicide ideation. There we go. I had to bring that up my brain. It is 11:56 p.m. if you didn't know, and it's dark outside. My brain is working, but it's not working. And I think that's the same exact birth control that women have been using for years. Now, I don't know how many different types there are. I know it's a fuck ton. I don't know if every single base for those, for the pill form, give similar side effects. But women have been doing this shit for years. They've been dealing with it for years. There needs to be a pure overhaul. Millions, if not billions of dollars of research put and shoved into replacements for all these birth controls, so we can get the least amount of side effects and the most amount of having no children, right? Outside of, hey, take your birth control every day. All right, but please comment down below for all the women. Comment birth control options, right? Comment if you're on the YouTubes. Comment different options so I can see. But when you comment their known side effects as well, right? If they got a specific brand name, right? comment that for your boy. Not a brand name, a medical name, a medicine name. Yeah. Just because I'm curious, but also to like share with other people who may watch this episode and then click on the comments to be like, "Ooh, I wonder what stupid people said in the comment section." I'm silly. Yeah, but I'm curious though. What is this username? Unao traceable? Untraceable. UNAO trade with an S, trades ECHABLE. What the fuck kind of username is this? Replies to the comment that I went on a rant on about birth control. Monster Peanut. Destructive behavior can go really bad. That she has access to therapy and just someone to talk to about her struggles or concerns. A third neutral party. And OP says she's already in therapy and has been for the past 2 years. Tractor Feed 1008 drops a comment with 72 upvotes. I wouldn't be there to listen to her regrets either, but I wouldn't have said it like that. Don't get me wrong, I still give tough love, systematically go through everything and ask her how she would answer each point and wait for her to answer. And he hits us with 5 points. 1, can she financially support a baby? Add up costs for diapers, foods, clothes, etc. 2, is she planning to work part-time or full-time? Does she plan to hire nannies and or find daycares? 3, does she know how to properly change diapers, hold babies? Is she willing to wake up at 3 a.m. to feed? Wake up it's 3 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m., 7 a.m., 7 a.m., 9 a.m., rewind, 1 a.m., rewind, 11 p.m., 9 p.m., right? We're doing 2-hour feeds. Every 2 hours, a baby has to feed. And what is it, the first 2 months? 3 months? 6 weeks? I don't know. Me have no children. 4, is she willing to give up all social life from now on? Absolutely. First 6 years for sure. 5 years. 6 years? Nah, doesn't matter. Social life. 5, is the boyfriend going to be doing anything? And yeah, all of this is doable. New parents everywhere do it all the time. The question is whether she's willing to do it. And OP replies, this is a good idea. I think I'll start with this. Thanks. And somebody said another comment, but they're also a deleted user. And OP replied to that saying, yeah, on it. I don't know what that was. But you know the reality of things? There's an edit. Thank you guys for your opinions and suggestions about how to handle this. I have to agree with what most of you said. It was probably too harsh. We texted for a while before we spoke on the phone again, and in the meantime, she apparently talked to her mother who, in her words, ripped her an absolute new one for having such a ridiculously stupid idea. Okay, so at least her mom potentially might not be the worst person. She admits that the idea of a baby came to them because they are so blissfully happy and now being home together all the time, they couldn't stop thinking about how wonderful it would be to start a family. You're enjoying the time together that you have now. It is going to be different with a child. I asked her a few questions. I asked her a few of the questions someone in the comments suggested, and she admitted that they not only had no way to support a child right now, they also wouldn't know how to even do that because she's determined to put her career first for now. She had a fight about this with her boyfriend too. So the whole situation is a little more messy than it seemed from my end. But thank you again, guys. Yeah, these are just 2 stupid kids. Every time I see my niece, damn, how old is she? 23? 24? I'm sorry if you're watching. I'm just forgetful as hell. I'm not the best uncle, but my default is forget things. Forget everything, right? Because I don't even know my damn nephews. How old is he? 14? Fuck it, it don't matter. Every time I see her, though, I'm like, yo, no children. Yo, chill, wait, relax, no children. Because she's going for her master's right now, right? And like trying to work and go to school is a hell of a thing. So I think she's taking a break right now, right? Just so she can do her thing. But her career path, her career field, the field that she's going into for her career to reach the finality of it, right? So she can make good money, not just base level money, good money. It's a jump that she has to go from that bachelor's to that master's. And if she gets that master's, it's a far jump, right? And you gotta do that time. You gotta do that time. You can't do that time with a child. You can. It just becomes an incredibly arduous task. And who knows how many things you're gonna fuck up and or regret during the process of that. So, but I don't got to read any more comments because we got the secondary edits. And edit number 2 says, not that anyone cares, but I guess who's pregnant? Dog. I don't know how what have I said in previous episodes? We need comprehensive sex ed throughout multiple years of a child's life in school, every school. It should be a federal requirement, right? From fucking, I don't know, every single year, right? You start teaching a child about their body when they're in elementary school, and just to make sure the kids don't get assaulted. I think it should be even more comprehensive, right? Because I don't remember what I was taught as a kid. I just know what I know now. But I know when I was in 6th grade, it was like a 2-day class, right? And then you could opt out in high school, the school I went to, because health and gym were tied together. And I wanted ROTC, so my little fat ass wouldn't have to sweat for an hour of the day during the day and be like, ooh, sweaty and tired, me fat, me musty, the rest of the day of school every day. No, I didn't want that shit. So, nah, it needs to be a pure requirement. Health shouldn't even be tied to gym. Because what is there anything? Is there any way you can stop learning about yourself, about your body? I'm really just trying to think about it. Could you just compile it into the necessary parts of science? Would that be better? Right. Would that be better? Every mandatory class, because high school is different. You get physics, you get biology. What else do you learn in high school? What are the other classes? Physics, biology. What were the other ones I took in high school? I'm trying to remember. I can't. But these kids need to come out of high school knowing everything. They need to know everything. They need to know about every single STD, every single birth control option. They need to learn everything about conception and birth, right? Every single possibility that can go wrong with just having a child. And then what the first 2 years are like, or raising a baby, right? They need to know how to take care of a child and wash a kid's ass, because at the end of the day, the majority of births happen, what is it, 16 to 24? And odds are this girl right here, if she went through with it, or maybe she didn't, she probably had an abortion. And the majority of abortions are 16 to 24, I think, right? Most pregnancies are 18 to 28. What am I saying? I think it's 18 to 28. There's a sharp drop off 30 plus. For pregnancies. There's a sharp drop off, just like there's a sharp drop off for abortions, like after 25. Because generally at that point, you either got your life together or you're just making enough money where, all right, outside of, oh no, this is going to ruin my life. I wonder if we like surveyed everybody, like, and they were forced to tell the truth. Would they say, yeah, we planned this pregnancy? No, it was an accident. It was an accident. Not, I was already prepared, right? Happy, healthy, and had enough money in my life, so I was fine with this. No, like legitimately, that's separate. It was an accident. I was having happy, fun time. I was having happy, fun time. There was one more comment I wanted to read by Colzers. It's a weird username. Not the asshole. If her mental health can't handle hormonal birth control, imagine how poorly it is going to handle pregnancy. If she takes SSRIs, she won't be able to while she is pregnant. Ooh. And OP replies to that. Honestly, that is also a thing I'm really concerned about. Apparently, her mother has made the same argument to her, and she seems to be coming around. Yep, obviously, this was before that second update. Ooh, but emergency shit. That's your username, emergency shit. Comments, does she know about Paragard, non-hormonal IUD? And a dishonorable capybara replies to them. I have a Paragard. I also handle hormonal birth control very poorly, and I love it, insofar as one can love an IUD. Insertion was very unpleasant. Let's say, but I think it was over much quicker than it felt like. I definitely appreciated having a nurse there to hold my hand. I did cramp for a few days afterwards, but the same magnitude as a normal period cramps. Absolutely worth not having to worry about birth control for a full 10 years. Men and boys watching, boys and men going to school, going to college, thinking about going into the medical field, already absolutely on that path. Don't become a gynecologist. It's fucking weird. It's fucking weird. I think the majority of that field should be women, right? And the majority of that field should be women who care about women, right? Who care about women's health. Because at the end of the day, it's a job, and some people just want to get paid big bucks, right? So there are going to be some nurses and doctors who don't give a flying fuck about how women feel, especially if they've been taught a certain thing and they haven't internalized it, and that shit is absolutely dog shit wrong. Because we now know where all the nerve clusters are in that general area of the woman's body. So we know that a lot of these things, when it comes to women's reproductive health, is rooted in slavery, eugenics, and purely outdated practices. Legitimately. What is it? What is it? I bring this shit up every chance I get. What is that tool? What is that tool called? The speculum, the tool used in the pap smear. This shit was developed in the fucking 1700s by a racist motherfucker. Father of gynecology. Oh, I can't spell. Is this him? J. Marion Sims? Is this the bastard? Oh, okay. It was 1800s then. My apologies, you people. You beautiful people. Yes. Yes. Editor, me, put this picture up. Put this picture up in there. Yes, this motherfucker. J. Marion Sims, the motherfucker who created the speculum, is just now finally being changed to a better filling form by women in New York of the Rose Institute, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely go look up the Rose Institute when you have a chance. The fact of the matter that here we are over 200 years removed from the creation of these practices that just embarrass, it hurts, destroy women. And there's so much of medical knowledge rooted in it. I'm angry. This episode is supposed to be about regrets, and we're talking about how angry I am at the past. And people aren't changing the things that need to be changed. Like I said, it needs to happen. You learn from your fucking mistakes. You learn from everyone else's mistakes. You don't let bullshit ass traditions and things just rooted in ignorance continue on. No, you stop it cold, dead hard in its tracks, and you make a proper change. We're over in r/am I the asshole with a post by Entertainer Key 8563. Am I the asshole for refusing to help a friend who didn't invite me to their wedding? For about 11 years now, I've 37 male, been pretty close with, let's call him John, 38 male. We met at a job in my mid-20s, and we were pretty regular company up until the pandemic, where our hanging out, which included a circle of mutual friends, has taken a decline, but isn't extinct. I need to just start this fucking thing over. Which isn't extinct, but isn't extinct. All right, we're gonna start this over. We're over in r slash am I the asshole with a post by entertainer key 8563. Am I the asshole for refusing to help a friend who didn't invite me to their wedding? For about 11 years now, I, 37 male, have been pretty close with John, 38 male. We met at a job in our mid-20s and were pretty regular company up until the pandemic, where our hanging out has taken a decline but isn't extinct. John and his partner, let's call her Jane, the 36 female, have been together for about 8 years now, engaged for a little under 2 years, both with a child from previous relationships. So they have taken trips with their kids near yearly, and I've been happy to help visit John's, now there, home and check on things and take care of their animals, etc. while they're gone. I've helped them out with other projects slash tasks over the years, and most recently picked up Jane from the airport returning from a work trip and got her home this past winter during a snowstorm because my vehicle can handle it. Generally, I've been present and helpful on top of our base friendship. About 5 weeks ago, I found out from a mutual friend their wedding is coming up, and invites were sent out a while ago. Everyone in our circle but me invited. As a gay guy, I've experienced being iced out of some of my straight friends' lives and events in ways minor and pronounced. But this one has definitely been something that has had me thinking about my time and energy with people. I decided I would take the hint and begin to distance myself. 3 days ago, John texts me asking if I'm around in early to mid-August. I say I am. John asks if I wouldn't mind visiting like I have before to look after the animals and property. I said, sorry, I can't. He calls. Oh, he calls to talk about it. We run through the same conversation, polite, but a bit tense. So I finally say, I just won't be visiting your home. After a moment of silence, I bring up that I'm disappointed that I appear to be the only person in our group of friends not invited to his wedding, and that I can't be helping like I have before if I'm just a background friend at this point. I wrap up the call positively and sincerely with me wishing them a good wedding and trip, and that maybe we can grab drinks soon. Jane reaches out 2 days ago, sending follow-up texts saying John is upset about what I said and with her because she made the final calls about friend invites and that I am taking this the wrong way. There is only so much capacity and that the others in our friend group have partners that took up space. She adds that she hopes I'll change my mind and help them out because it will put John's mind at ease. I'm not entitled to the company of others or invitations to anybody's events, but am I wrong for setting my own boundaries in response to theirs? I try not to frame my friendships as transactional, but they obviously want something out of me here, despite their not inviting me and then avoiding even bringing it up with me until they needed help with covering their honeymoon. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You you don't want to invite me to your wedding, but you want me to house sit for you? You don't want you want me to house sit for you for your fucking honeymoon? I've known you for a decade plus, but I know you, your fiance, soon-to-be wife, and your kids, right? The pandemic made us a little distant, but it made us distant with our entire friend group. But here it is, the time where every motherfucker on the planet gets invited, unless you a broke bitch, and then we gonna have a live stream up and running for you, and you don't even send a fucking invite. But you want me to take care of your goddamn ficus plants while you're on your honeymoon. even the kids too. Maybe even the fucking kids too, because you're not bringing your kids on your honeymoon. You're trying to make new kids on that damn honeymoon. Mm, 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 mm. You gotta run a fade with me when you see me. What kind of bullshit is that? It's homophobia. It's homophobia. Even if they're unconscious of it, it's homophobia. This shit has no place in the world. Honestly, you take a look from a scientific perspective at any animal, right? At all the animals, and you see just a large percentage, not one, not two, not three, not five, a large percentage of normal homosexual interactions, homosexual couples, even families of dogs, cats, maybe birds. I don't know. I don't know enough. Creating homosexual families, picking up orphaned litters and caring for them. Right? It's regular. It's regular. It's fucking normal. Top comment by a deleted user with 20,000 upvotes, quoting part of the story. And Jane reaches out 2 days ago, sending follow-up text saying John is upset about what I said and with her because she made the phone calls about friend invites and that I am taking this the wrong way. There's only so much capacity and that the others in our friend group have partners that take up space. You quoted a lot there. What a bogus excuse. If your friends need someone to check up on their animals and property when they are on their honeymoon after a wedding you weren't invited to, they can ask another friend or family member. The audacity of some people astounds me. I am a believer in putting the same energy into a friendship as you experience. And OP replies to this. I don't pretend to be super savvy about wedding etiquette, and I realize every wedding is different and lines have to be drawn about who can come or not. But yeah, my mutual friend reaching out to me to coordinate plans for our friend group during the weekend of the wedding to find out I wasn't invited definitely stung and felt super awkward. My friend was in disbelief as well. See, not a whole friend group about to find out you weren't invited, dog. Oh, man. We just got to remove people from the face of the planet who are intolerant. I truly can't tolerate intolerance. I'm ready to crack a motherfucker's head open, right? If for the people who are listening to me, for the people who are listening to me via any particular podcast channel, let's just say Spotify for specifics, I am an African American individual, right? So I am a man who cannot tolerate racism. I am a man who cannot tolerate any ism, strictly for my own experiences and knowledge and my own understanding of the history in this country and others, along with my own understanding of how the brain works and how people are socialized, brainwashed, and forced into being highly ignorant of the realities around them that allows for racism, prejudice, bigotry to seep into the zeitgeist of themselves and others, that you truly cannot be an intelligent person and be a racist unless you are brainwashed or you just make your money off of putting others down, keeping others down. There's no naturalness about it. There's no true intelligent path to it. The parts of the brain that fire off when a person is being racist is their fear portion. The parts of the brain that normally function at full capacity begin to shut all the way almost off, right? That's why the word is homophobia, right? We don't speak Latin, but the root words are there. And the person who coined the term saw the gay panic in the 70s and in the early 80s, and he coined the term based upon what the church, the Christian church, did here in America. And it fit perfectly. They said, hey, if you're even around or even touch a motherfucker who's gay, they'll turn you gay. You have to be so brainwashed and so stupid to believe that. You have to be so highly ignorant to believe that. That if I touch them, I'll start liking dudes. Oh no. There's such a high level of fear mongering, such a high level of hate, right, and contempt. There always has to be somebody in this country for the masses to hate. That's why you get that change, right? 200 something years. What was it? What was it? Early 1800s until you can say 1930s to 40s, but really 1970s. When minstrel shows, which transformed into just regular old blackface, became unacceptable, right? Highly acceptable form of media in the 1800s, 1900s, right? One of the best-selling forms of media up until the 30s and 40s, where you get specific Hollywood codes that started to be like, no, certain things are unacceptable. Up until the 70s, where you see just that steep decline from the 40s, 1940s to the 70s. You see a steep decline in blackface in movies and television, right? The last real instance of a blockbuster I can remember was RDJ, Robert Downey Jr.'s ass wearing blackface in Tropic Thunder, right? Was it acceptable? No. Was it funny? Yes. Did I know who he was? No, because I was a child, right? Could it be done today? Yes, but I'd probably kick his fucking door in. I can't keep being so violent on these episodes. I was going to say something wild. I would make him experience doom. Yes. No, I would make him experience doom. That's what I would do. Not in the video game either. Yeah, so me, myself, when I think about these isms, and it bleeds over, right? Like I said, from early 1800s to that kickoff point in the mid 1900s, where it starts to become unacceptable. You get the Hollywood Code that comes in and sets these laws up, and you get the villainization, even if it's not outwardly out there. You get a villainization of gay people, of homosexual people. From the 40s to the 70s, right? Yes. And you can look at like certain characters, look at like Jafar from Aladdin, or like Scar, right? With how smaller he was, and compared to, what was Simba's father's name? Right. Without like explicitly saying that these characters are gay, they're applying certain traits to them, certain stereotypical traits to them, and vilifying these characters. So you're growing up not even knowing that you're being indoctrinated. It's not so out there, right? And then it's really in your face, right? You get certain key points. So you go from the villain being the black man to the villain being the gay man, and of course because the money's there, right? The politics are there. You need a new villain. So the politicians, the rich people, switched over to saying, "Hey, gay people are the villain." They had the framework, right? And if you can't vilify gay people, black people, if you can't vilify black people, you can vilify gay people, and you could break up the masses into groups. And you can have your camps on one side and on the other side, and you can get people to vote about things and get people really riled up and have them over here on one side, scared, afraid, angry, ready to rip somebody's throat out. And they don't realize the people that they're voting for are taking their rights away. Right? So you can go from black people to gay people to what is it now? Trans people. Right? If abortion was a bigger thing, it would be about aborting people, right? So, but you can't really make that a ism. You can't really make that a group of people. It's just all women from 15 to 35, 45. You're not a woman at 15. But it becomes an easily targetable group. It becomes a point that you can use to rile a group up and get them out there to vote, right? And on the left, on the more progressive side, you can't possibly be like, I don't really want trans people in bathrooms of the genders that they're. If I'm paying $50,000 to get my dick removed and $120,000 to get a uterus put in me, $200,000 to get a uterus put in me, best believe I'm sitting on the toilet and taking a piss. Ain't nobody gonna stop me for that. But the progressive people aren't gonna try and even say anything right untoward towards the LGBT QIA plus community, right? Because they fucking shouldn't. They fucking shouldn't. It's very fucking simple. And for anybody who's thinking about the bathroom shit, unisex bathrooms, genderless bathrooms, right? There's a problem. There's an easy fucking solution, right? You roll back time and you look at history. There used to be what? Either women weren't allowed or women could only use male facilities, male sports, right? Issues cropped up with women's safety, female sports, female bathrooms. If there's a thought about someone's safety at risk, you come up with a solution. You don't try to harm a whole entire group. You don't. No. If someone says there's harm being caused and your solution is to start to harm others mentally or physically, you're a piece of shit. What was this story even about? Homophobia? What was this about? Not being invited to a wedding. Yeah. I bet now that the friend group knows that Jane and what's this motherfucker's name? Jane and John. John and Jane. Oh, John Doe and Jane Doe. That's right. These are made up names. I'm sure now that the friend group is learning that they're fucking homophobes, they aren't going to be super nice to them anymore. Oh shit. Yeah. They deserve whatever's coming to them. Let's read some more comments by some users. PM me these weird ass usernames. I'm not gonna read that one. I think you got some awkward times coming up. Please remember during them that this isn't your fault. Despite what Jane said, you might still not know exactly what happened with you being on their guest list. John may be learning or realizing some big things right now. Your friends may be considering some things, and you may be blamed for the results of this situation. Again, please remember that none of this is your fault. By your account, you've been incredibly gracious. By the way, I don't think I saw you mention it anywhere. What was John's reaction when you brought up the lack of wedding invites? And OP responds, I had to revise the original post and trim a lot of smaller details to get to the character limit and capture the situation concisely. John didn't say much. There was some silence after I cut through his line of questioning with the fact that I won't visit his home at all. I said my piece about not being able to help if I'm not invited with our other friends. And out of awkwardness, pivoted to the gracious wrap-up. Hope the wedding and trip are good. Let's grab some drinks soon. There was a pause and sort of collecting himself, something like, thanks, man. Yeah, let's do that. Before I decided to hang up. Hard to peg down, but I picked up on some regret in his tone. Yeah, so there might just be a bit, 1 to 20%, 20 to 50%. So if I'm just giving it numbers, maybe even 99, 100% of homophobia in Jane, right? Maybe there's like 0 to 55% homophobia in John, maybe even 55 to 99, right? Maybe even 100. Yeah, definitely 100. Because when I think about all the isms, right, and it's like, oh man, if they're so homophobic, if they're so hateful of that particular group, why would they even be around them? Why would they even allow him in their home? Okay, If slave masters were so racist, why would they even have children with their slaves? If you hate somebody so much, why would you lay down with them? You get benefits. There are benefits from your hate. And the benefit for them was a fucking housekeeper when they're on vacation for weeks at end. Oof. From a deleted user drops a comment that gets 4.4K upvotes. Not the asshole. This sounds like a really one-sided friendship and that they are taking your friendship for granted. Why would you keep putting time and energy into them? And this right here is the comment. Like I said, we've been pretty close up until now, and I've happened to have the availability when they need it often enough. When we've been close enough before that, I didn't mind or feel taken advantage of. You need some comments in that sentence, buddy. John's helped me as well in the past, and try not to hold other people's lives and familiar commitments against them. But are you telling us to? But I was trying to paint a concise picture, given the character limit, of being close. Or at least I thought it was close. This situation, like I said, definitely changed my perspective, given the other friends' invites. But I wanted to make sure I wasn't making their wedding about me. They approached me after excluding me. So far, people seem to agree, which I'm relieved about. There are more comments I could read by OP, but I want to get to the updates because I'll just keep on yapping. I get so rationally angry, right, at hateful people that I start to express myself irrationally. The thought process is spot on, right? But wanting to crack even like a baby racist head open is irrational. It's a little irrational. And because the realities are, it's not like they came to that point themselves where outside of any externalities, right, anything pushing it into their mind consciously or unconsciously, like purposefully, through media or their family or friends or socialization. What was that sentence? I just started yapping without even thinking. What? There isn't anyone who naturally, on their own, who purposefully on their own, comes to being a racist, right? So like a baby racist, they were indoctrinated. So it's not like I can be like super upset at them, right? I can't be like, dormants into some wet cement, and oh, if he drowns, he drowns, right? And then it was like casual racism, no, but like a Klan member. Update. Yesterday afternoon, a few days after John made their initiating contact that led to this altercation, he reached out by text telling me the following. I want to take you up on that drink tomorrow if possible, and I want to apologize for my royal fuck-ups in person. I agreed to meet. After we kicked off with a round of shots, John's first line was that he failed me as a friend in this situation. With non-family invites, Jane apparently seemed very preoccupied with a philosophy of couples over singles at the wedding, and he had previously voiced that he felt it was exclusionary and silly. But I guess John prioritized couples on the first round of friend invites and told John that it will be easier to fit in others after receiving RSVPs. John backed down and says he felt that going along with her initial plan of inviting the rest of our circle, who are, God bless them, coupled up, and not me, and have faith the RSVP thing would materialize. She ended up using the bit of space to plug in some more family. But not more friends, huh? Not more single friends. Or is he really actually the only single friend in the entire friend group because you just said, God bless me? Jane is a racist. I'm racist. That's another thing too. There's some intersectionality there, right? And when you're allowing yourself to be that stupid and be that ignorant and hate a whole group of people, there's a crossover. It's easy for a homophobic person to be a racist, to be a bigot, to be a, what's the other word? Zionist? No, that's not the word I'm looking for. John admitted he basically folded and felt ashamed enough that he could not find a way to tell me. He knew reaching out to me about that favor was a risk, but took it anyways because he wanted someone he could trust. And my response was a materialization of everything he feared would happen. In his words, deservedly so. He told me a wedding should be a gathering of your family and company who have been a part of your lives and who you want to be a part of your lives. And I fit that bill to him by any measure. He, trying to accurately paraphrase, said I've done more than most of the people on the guest list for him and his family over their relationship, including helping making memories with trick coverages and helping build their back deck. You help these motherfuckers build a whole deck with them to share meals and host events over the last 6 years. He got visibly upset when he said, with the shot and the drinks we were sipping on and kicking in, that he can't believe Jane even considered holding my single/dating status against me after I got her home safely during a snowstorm earlier this year, and that he did not more adamantly confront that bullshit reasoning than she voiced it. He is even more pissed for Jane reaching out to me in the manner she did after my original phone call with him. Jane acknowledged it would come off as hollow at this point, but after a few exchanges with Jane, said there would be no more nonsense and I would at least get a proper invite and +1 if I wanted. And they would make it work if it was even desired by me at this point. He said he is not going to try to do panic damage control, but will be upfront with our circle. One has already dropped out. And I guess another couple has said something else about his reporting. Like, man. Because he and Jane deserve the blowback, and he needs to earn trust back. If it's at all possible, this guy needs to put periods and more commas in his sentence properly. He has also made it Jane's problem to find a friend who can come by out 9 days in a row to care for the home and pets. With a smirk, he said she's having a hard time securing it and may likely have to hire help. I told John I really appreciated his owning up to this, and it was good to see his friend I had shine through here. I told him that I have always appreciated him and Jane's friendship, so it hurt when I was excluded and not even addressed. I felt that close enough anyways. And I obviously don't mean to complicate his wedding. I've always thought him and Jane were great for each other, earnestly. I have supported them as best as I can, and I've been confused about what I've done or haven't done to be iced out. I also admitted it's hard to trust Jane again if she has been weighing the validity of my presence based on my relationship status. And added, with some humor, it's not like I haven't been trying. And you guys have met some of my previous long-term partners. He said he doesn't get it either, and she has at least one good friend who's single that she may have burned a bridge with, as well as, over the wedding philosophy she had. Okay. So somebody else didn't get invited that's single. And I spent this whole fucking little shebang talking about homophobia. James just insert the best word for the R word. And whatever your best word is in your head for the R word. James a dum-dum. I said the friendship is going to be changed and informed by this. At least very different for a while. And I know that you and Jane had a disagreement leading to this, but that I hope that the wedding goes on to be a good celebration. I informed him it feels best to take a pass on the invitation. But he said if there was a change of mind, up to the last minute to let him know, which was kind, and he wasn't desperate/pushy about it. John said the fault is his for not stepping up on my behalf, that he is sorry. And while he feels I wouldn't expect otherwise, and I agree. He is very lucky to have her in his life and thinks their marriage is a positive development for them. He even told her this whole situation will have him questioning and second guessing her judgment on social matters with his friends for the foreseeable future. By his reporting, but a credit to their relationship, this was quite a blow to her to hear from him, but one she accepted and apologized for after their arguments about the subject. So why didn't she call you up to invite you then? Why did she change her mind with her friend? Why didn't? Okay. Before we parted ways in the parking lot, we gave each other a bro hug, and John's voice broke a bit when he said he is sorry one last time. And I think mine did too when I forgave him. It was legitimately surprising and therapeutic to have John be so frank and accountable, but not unlike the friend I've known for most of my adult life. It was bittersweet, being all things considered a makeup, but also a breakup of sorts, to what was previously an unquestioned and assumed strong trust and camaraderie. Maybe we can go there again. It seems possible, and it'd be nice. I'm sitting here after weeks of big feelings stewing on a different shade of big boy feelings now. Thanks for processing with me, Reddit. Hmm. I spent so much time talking about like the potential homophobia in both of these people, but learning that small little kernel of information that kernel Linux, learning that another one of Jane's friends, not John's friends, Jane's friends, potentially was not invited at all to her wedding because she's single. This just has me thinking, oh man, this is a dumb person. This is a dumb, stupid person. Matter of fact, comment down below. Is there a tradition for like certain groups of people? I don't know. This is like a what is there to not invite single people to weddings? Do you not invite like kids? Do you not invite certain family members who? No, because family members are getting invited. Are you not inviting single family? Did she not invite single family members? I'm confused, dog. Okay, so reframing my thoughts. If Jane's a dumb person and John's a dumb person, and OP's a dumb person because he honestly thinks that they're good for each other, everyone's kind of dumb. Top comment? The 7K upvotes by Oak Spectre. I'm envious of your tact, grace, and insight in handling such a difficult situation. You sound like an incredible friend, and I hope you are both able to rebuild from this. Also, fuck Jane. And does this look infected? Spelled in a very weird way. Replies to Oak Spectre. Definitely. Fuck Jane. And Jane is a weirdo. As a matter of fact, Fun Dimension 5196 says it. 1.2K upvotes. John is a coward. Yep, that's what it is. It needs to be a bit of, if not a lot of, not forcefulness, strength. What's the word I'm looking for, you guys? It's 12:47 a.m. My brain is a little lost on the synonyms that I need. Put your foot down, aggression, forceful, because he's a coward, right? He's not expressing himself. He's not saying what he wants. He's not doing the things that he needs to do on behalf of his friends and his family. What's the word I'm looking for? Because it's kind of how I live. I can't think of it. Honestly, I can't think of it. It's a sad thing, though. John needs to put his big boy pants on and says the things that he wants and needs and works on getting them, right? He needs to... Oh, he's not assertive. He's not assertive. The word I'm looking for starts with a P, though. In my mind, it starts with a P. PR? It don't matter. Yeah, he's not assertive. He's not assertive enough at all either. He's not, because it takes two to tango, um, and it takes two to get married, right? And I don't know if Jane is paying for the most of it, but it's always reflected in the media, especially forever, that the wedding is for the woman. No, it's for both. It's for both. You can't and shouldn't just let your soon-to-be wife plan everything out, right? Along with your soon-to-be mother-in-law or soon-to-be mother-in-law and mother, right? And you shouldn't, because for one, it's a lot. It's stressful. For two, you're not going to get everything you want. You're going to feel, three, disconnected. And four, situations like these crop up, right? You can't let full authority be on one side and then you try to say, hey, I want this thing. Once authority is out of your hands, you're the subordinate. Authoritative control is officially over this thing, even though you are an equal part of it, right? You may even be paying for it, but you can't get those flowers. You can't get that church. Shit, those colors aren't even what you fucking picked for real, right? If everything is in her hands, or wedding planner's hands, the matriarchs of both sides of the family, right? You ain't got shit. You can't have shit. You can't want for shit because you gave up control, right? And that's a strong word, but if it's OP responds, and I lost that comment immediately. What does OP respond to? Do they respond to Oak Spectre? I think they do. As the top comment, I appreciate the kind words. A lot of people had good things on the range of the spectrum to share with me, and I've done my best to respond to people without getting too consumed and doing other things that need to be done. I was happy for John to talk with me. Maybe commenters are right and they see me as something else than I thought we were as friends. And maybe I've got some work to do to assert myself. Yeah, assertive. And that I have been a doormat up to this point. I know I've got some soul searching to do about me as a person and how I see myself with John and Jane, and maybe my other friends. This relationship felt a lot closer and authentic in a different time, but it's hard to paint a fuller picture of that after a situation like this. Things change. As tempting as it is to accept the invitation and be there for John, I think I trust my instinct to let this be. And if John meant what he said, and if Jane comes around, they'll make the effort to follow up. I will be putting some distance for a while, and time will tell. I'm glad we got a chance to talk, because if it is the end, I feel good about giving him a chance to own it. As I've gotten older, I appreciate the hard work of taking on uncomfortable stuff. Periods and commas. Periods and commas in the right place, and more of them. Oh, I made some plans for that weekend with a couple other friends, which I'm looking forward to. I find repeated updates on an initial post a bit messy and tacky, so if anyone wants my thoughts on particulars, just click my profile and look at my comments/responses. Thanks for words and insights, Reddit. I would have preferred you to do updates separately. I would have preferred that. Me would have preferred that. Let's go back up and read this little add-on that OP has. A lot of people had good things on the range of the spectrum to share with me. I've done my best to respond to people without getting too consumed. Wait. Oh, this is what I just read. Okay, that's cool. We'll scroll down and get some more comments from OP then. Ayane Redfield says, I hope that a couple they lovingly invited would get engaged at their wedding. That's my wedding wish for Jane. 947 upvotes. And OP responds, okay, I spit out my drink laughing, catching this response. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh shit. As a matter of fact, here I am talking about John need to be more assertive. This made me think about myself. OP saying that he needs to be more assertive. you kind of just do things for your friends, right? Whether they ask or not. Whether if an outside perspective of a person sees that one party is being taken advantage of to a degree or not, right? You just do stuff for your friends. And so that's why the theme, again, I chose these stories, even if I didn't read the comments and they didn't spark anything in my mind until just now as I'm thinking and I'm talking. Is regrets, because I can look back at friendships that I do or don't have anymore, and I can look at the ending and look at my thoughts afterwards, and I can think of an ending and look at potential thoughts in the future, and I can say and know what I have processed and reflect and see that the things that I've done were not equal, right? In how the relationship was, with the things that I gave to other former friends, ex best friends, ex best friends, right? Motherfuckers who I've bought car seats, diapers for their children, right? Their firstborns, firstborns. And I look at the look back at the dynamic. Like, I gave so much, I put so much time in, and what the reciprocity wasn't there. What I received was not near to or equal. Oh, excuse me. And right, rather than regretting, of course I can feel the emotions, the sadness, the anger. I just choose to maneuver differently moving forward, right? I take those as lessons, and I act in such a way now where people are like, damn, Tan, why you not helping out? Bitch, because I don't want to. I don't want to, right? Where normally I wouldn't have wanted to, but I would still help. But now it's like, no, no, no. Because unconsciously there's that little bit of update to the code and to the data where I've locked in the changes, right? The altruism doesn't always exist. You feel me? If I rather sleep in or do something else, or I'm just actually busy rather than stopping to help, the priorities don't get updated. Things don't get to slide in and make changes. It becomes a no, right? Everything else goes to the back burner or just simply does not make it to the kitchen, right? And like I said, it makes me think about current friendships and how I maneuver through now. Things that I want, that I express, that I demand, and that I say that I need, right? How I maneuver and how I communicate as well, right? Because I could easily not talk to a motherfucker, whether I want a deeper friendship or not. I could easily not talk to people. By default, I enjoy a bit of solitude because I can just get locked in into the throes of my life and just get to scrolling, reading, laughing, giggling, watching stuff, listening to music. And I would look up and the day would be over. And it's like, yep, I did the shit I wanted to do, whether it was productive or not, right? But adding friends in, it's like I could easily not talk to a person, but I want that dynamic. So like seeing the past, I maneuver in a way to consistently keep up good communication, even if it's just sending memes on the daily, bi-daily, weekly. If I want that relationship with a person to be more deep, more deep, more deeply, more deep, I communicate in a fashion, and I think about things that I am doing right with current friends that I did in the past where the relationship wasn't equal, and I can see a bit of inequity right in today, and I can look and see that person and see that they aren't doing certain behaviors that would have me regret the end of a friendship, or I can see a lack on their end, right, where they can't be thoroughly equal. Let's just say monetarily, right? Time wise, right? Just spitballing. So y'all don't learn too much, where they can't be equal and give the same way I give to them. I would be fine with if the friendship ended, and I wouldn't be so terribly distraught and so horribly upset after the fact when I reflect and I think about the relationship in its totality. Yeah, so yeah, life and experiences, man. Let's let's read this update. And we got to go to best Reddit update so I can grab this appropriately because this puppy pops up in the comments, and I hate the fact that OP wanted to put this shit in the comments. Hi, everyone. While this was obviously more pressing because this update takes place 3.5 months after our previous update, while obviously this was more pressing in the time frame I posted it, it's been a while since the wedding, and I've been naturally busy with other things going on in my life. Not much to share or update about, so I didn't. While I was hurt about the precipitating combo of requested favor but hidden exclusion, but happy that John at least met with me, I didn't expect any quick easy fixes and have resolved to let it be and wait for John/Jane to reach out, and that it was even more likely that this friendship was basically over. John reached out a couple of days ago with a text asking if I would be interested in attending a Friendsgiving party they plan on throwing later this month, insisting that that both he and Jane would love to have me. And despite some nervousness, revisiting it all out of the blue, I said, sure thing. And FTJLSTER. What does that stand for? Replies to OP's comment update. Oh, OP, this is how they are going to rug sweep to the rest of their friend group that you don't mind them disinviting you to the wedding. Just period. Did you mean to put something else there? They're going to have all the friends group there, and you'll be there and too polite to say how hurt you were. And then after that, they'll be back to asking you for favors and not actually being your friends again. Ooh. And a deleted user says, please don't fall back into the same trap. No more helping out. And all. Keep your distance and your heart safe. Be a superficial friend. What John did was just damage control. They are not real friends. And Aromic S 6833 says, if I were you, I won't mind meeting John and Jane as casual friends in social settings, but visiting them after a major snub for Friendsgiving, which they did earlier. Hell, I would ever go their home. I would never go to their home for any event if I was in your shoes. Bro, the way I gotta edit people's words is crazy. Like, I've legitimately read some really good ass stories and some really good ass comments, and I was like, holy shit, your grammar, your spelling, the way you format things. I just had to skip them. Like, legitimately, you guys won't get like some amazing ass stories from me and some amazing ass comments from me because the way people type is just dog shit. Oh, you even see me stop like in the middle of reading. It could be in the middle of a fucking story, and I'm just like, oh, grammar. You should have put some periods there. You should have put some comments. You should put some commas there, right? Because it changes the way I read things, and especially if there are fucking words missing. Hell, I would ever go to their home for any event if I were in your shoes. The fuck does that mean? All right. There's hell, I would never's not there. Or maybe you just forgot to type that in. Hell, I would ever go to their home. But then I read their home, and it's not the right there. It's not the fucking right there. So I can't even read the rest of the comment. Nope, I refuse. Romic ask 6833, fuck you. Suck my yeah, fuck you. We're gonna read this other update, right? That takes place 4 months after the update about the invite. Wait, did I lose it? Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Yep. Because Repulsive Papaya asks, We are so all invested. We are all so invested. No, I can't read. That's my fault. How did Friendsgiving go? And this comment is 4 months after Friendsgiving, or the previous update, I should say. Hey, I didn't end up going. I said yes at first, but a few months removed from the incident, and despite my innate desire to somehow make it work, anytime I thought about the situation, I was left feeling upset. As I got closer to the Friendsgiving, it became clear to me that they were showing up at a holiday gathering like that was going to be awkward. Oh, that me showing up. I misread that. And performative in nature, even if their intentions with the invite were good or coming from the right place. So I avoided it. It felt like the right call. I let John know I had something else come up, and he voiced some obligatory disappointment, but wished me happy holidays. I haven't received any communication from them since, and I haven't initiated any. It's likely that this may officially be over, but a few busy months in my work and personal life and some reading/thinking on other matters has cooled me off and given me some slight perspective changes from where I was at. Therapy, my brother. Therapy. All right. If you can sit down and talk about the way how you maneuver through your friendships, past, present, and future with a therapist on a consistent basis, or just all relationships that you may have, period, from family to friends to who you fucking, I think that would be cool, right? Because maybe you get into arguments, maybe you want things to change, and maybe you need to bounce that off of somebody. And the best person you can bounce that off of would have normally been that individual. So you talk to an unbiased random, which would be a doctor. A doctor. Yep. It's not super necessary that you, hey, we're on air. It's not super necessary that you go see a therapist for this in particular, but you need just a little bit more reinforcing to your spine. Just a little bit more reinforcing to your spine. And OKP in the 605 says, in reply to OP's comment update, his comment updates are terrible. Honestly, it's a good thing. It's a good think that you didn't go, but the dishonesty was not. It's a good thing you didn't go. Even my brain like automatically read that as thing, even though it says think. It says think. Honestly, it's a good think. Where's the G and the K on the damn keyboard? They're not close. There's an H and a J in between it. Chances are they invited you for them, not for you. Chances. The S and the D are next to each other, so that's fine. I say you should contact John again and just tell him that you are done. Actually, being upfront, being purposeful. Damn, the word is like right on the tip of my tongue. It's not assertive, it's something else. Proactive? It's not proactive. He was not a good friend, and it just comes off as if the U-turns were just to make themselves feel better. Oh, yeah. Not only that, they had to look better to their friend group, too, because they have friends dropping like flies. The biggest giveaway is the obligatory disappointment meeting. It sounded like he wasn't really bothered that you didn't go. Not to mention absolutely zero communication from Jane since she called you, demanding you take care of their pets after lying to you by omission. Yeah, Jane is a piece of shit, dog. I hope you're able to get over this. And you don't need friends like that. Because from your post, he owned up, but it looks like he never really apologized. Tell him you're done with him and get some closure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you think that they need closure. This person typed on the computer. Oh, I see it. From the way they misspelled apologized. APPOLOGIESED. The fuck is that? Apologies. Apologies. All right, I'm not making fun of you like that for real. Oh, because I'm sleepy. Here I am misreading shit that I haven't read. Because I'm up at 1:08 a.m. when I have to be up at 4:50 a.m. to go to work. We're going to go into the next story. Oh, shit. We're over in r/am I the asshole with a post by throwaway 220898. Am I the asshole for wanting my mother to feel regrets with her way of raising me? I, 29 female, taking care of my mother, 59 female. My younger siblings are still studying in uni. I'm the eldest, as well as the only one with a stable income. I'm also helping to pay for most of the bills. My father died when I was 6, and my mother never remarried or worked hard to support all of her children. She's retired and wants to sneeze, apparently. Whew. She's retired and wants to spend her remaining years with her friends and family. She lives with me. My relationship with my mother is tenuous. She raised me to be strong and was very strict with me. Let me preface this by saying I will never blame her for working as hard as she did because I recognize that her working was to support everyone and that it was her way of showing love by making sure that everyone had all their basic needs met. I understand that even more now that I am a working adult too. Now that she's no longer working, she can finally be present in our lives. She's trying to be around this time, taking plenty of pictures and videos. I know that this is her trying to make up for lost time, but at the same time, I feel jealous seeing my siblings getting this gentler treatment and more love than in the indifference that I got. I did not even get any verbal congratulations for all of my achievements. No pictures, no videos, and yet my siblings got it all. It's not my siblings' fault. It's just my mother trying to be a mother and being terrible at it. It's such a shallow thing to get angry about. But even knowing this, I'm still so angry. So I've started being honest about my emotions and past experiences at home. I've I asked if she told my sister that she was worthless when my sister had her breakdowns. When she bought gifts for my siblings, I said, "A shame we don't have any pictures of me in the album." One time, when I was browsing albums with her, I made sure to only say these things when there was just the two of us around. My siblings were not at fault. They don't need to see me being hateful. It's just with my mom that I keep saying little things like this. I haven't returned home in nearly 2 weeks, just staying at hotels and going to work. After an argument with my mother, where she finally had enough of my words, she said I'm not her daughter because no children of hers would ever make her feel terrible after everything she sacrificed for us. So I just left my house and told her she can bring whoever she wants to keep her company because I'm not coming home anymore. And that I'll still give her money and so she doesn't have to worry about bills. Everyone blowing up my phone now saying I should apologize. My siblings understand, but they think I was too harsh with my words. I don't want to because I think I'm not in the wrong for airing my grievances. But now that I have some time to reflect, perhaps I was too harsh with my words. Reddit, I'm quite used to people being harsh with me, so don't hold back. Am I the asshole for wanting my mother to feel regret? No, not at all. It would be like a different question if you ran the fade with your mom um, and then proceeded to ask these questions. Like if you slapped the dog shit out of her for being a piece of shit that emotionally neglectful ass mother your entire life, then this would be a not so clear cut, not the asshole moment, right? Sometimes you got to run the fade with your parents. I want all the people out there not to think about your kids, but to think about your parents. Were they perfect? If not, because no one's perfect. No one's a 10 out of 10. 987654321 out of 10. Were they amazing? Were they spectacular? Were they great? Were they good? Were they all right? Were they mid? Were they average? Were they eh? Were they bad? Were they terrible? Were they shit? Were they dog shit? Have you already stumped a hole in your head because of how absolutely fucked up and irredeemable they were / are? Like, that's the scale right there. That's the scale right there. And I don't even know if that was like a scale of like 0 to 10. But the last one was definitely like a 0 or a -50. Because what kind of people do your parents have to be / have been to you for you to stump a hole in their head? And I know that's the phrasing for like beating somebody up, but with how egregious it sounds like removing their life from space and time. Yeah, not the asshole. He really should have slapped the shit out of her. There's so many different things in here that I can like grab onto. I'm trying to not like superimpose my own childhood onto this, right? Because no one's always completely happy with how their parents raised them, right? Whether it's both parents, a singular parent, right? Both parents in different manners, right? I don't want to get too caught up in the weeds with my own feelings and superimpose, you know. So I want to stick to just the story itself. Nope. Just so I don't get caught up in the weeds. We're gonna read the top comment by Tree City Kitty. Not the asshole. I think it's time for you to separate from your mother and let her rely on herself and your siblings for support, both emotional and monetary. Your mother sounds like she doesn't recognize or refuses to recognize the difference in behavior to you. You need to have a serious conversation about your childhood with her. Then, or before, you need to have a conversation with your siblings because they need to know how you were raised differently than them and then them. And while you don't blame them, they shouldn't be blaming you for how the difference affects you. Ooh, they're spitting. That's the reason why they got 1,200 upvotes. Legitimate Review responds to them. It sounds like OP tried and OP's mom is in denial mode / trying to rewrite the past. OP doesn't deserve to be functionally homeless because of a toxic home environment. OP is not the asshole and needs to tell her roommate it is time to leave. Yep, and that's the thing too, because I know things that you don't know about the story yet. Or maybe you haven't heard things as to why OP is taking care of her mom. Here in America, people don't need to live with their parents. Like, it's not fully the American culture for there to be multi-generational homes anymore. I don't know the specifics of the percentages of the past during the early, late 1900s, early, late 1800s, but definitely not now. In the COVID 20s, as I call them, these are the COVID 20s. What were the 2010s again? Those were the social media teens. Yeah. And what were the 2000s? Death and destruction, really. So you had 9/11, you had the financial crisis. Oof. 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 You had a .com bubble too in 01 as well, wasn't that? Was that in 01 or 02? Yeah. Terrible times, wasn't it? What was I thinking? Why did I think of those things? Oh yeah, because the mom's living at home and here she is sending money to him. Yeah, she wouldn't have moved in with me. They would have been kicked out. Right. I wouldn't have left. They would have had to dip. You're causing all kinds of issues when you have like the separation of the generation and just moving in with your parents. It's just. I had this conversation with my mom, like this specific portion I'm saying about parents viewing their children as like their property, or even in certain ways like a pet, kind of like an animal, right? They're children when they're of a child's age, not like when they're adults. And society, like law wise, kind of treats them like that too. As of course as property or like pets, not as full human beings, because of course children don't really have rights for real. It's only for like the monetary benefits, or just if they do some crazy ass wild shit. Are there certain laws in place for them? But can't smoke, can't drink, can't drive, can't vote. Can you own property? Yeah, but can you actively build credit? No. And then can you hold a job? Technically, no. Up until a certain age, which is a beneficial thing. You don't need 8-year-olds working like they want again. The children do not need to go back to the mines. They do not need to go back to the mines. I don't want to read some of these comments. I'm gonna just go to the update. Everyone helped me sort out my emotions. Thank you. I decided to try one last time. This time, I won't be pagro, passive aggressive, and brought my siblings and my paternal uncle to help mediate. I returned to my home and finally sat with my mother and told her how I felt throughout the years. I told her that I only wanted to be acknowledged and not be emotionally neglected, and that if she can be available for my siblings, then I hope she can try with me now. My mother refused to accept it. She refused to believe that she was partial to my younger siblings and that she only gave me tough love, that I was only hurting her by being ungrateful, and that I truly am not her child. Shit. She accused me of turning my siblings against her. Even with my siblings telling her the same thing that I did, she said she only did it for us and that we all betrayed her by hurting her like this. My uncle sided with my mother, saying that while he understood my feelings, I should have just accepted everything and let bygones be bygones because she's my mother who sacrificed a lot for us. With that, I knew I wasn't welcome anymore. I told her she can keep the house and that I'll still give her money and pay the bills until the day she dies, out of respect for providing me with necessities until I was an adult. I told her I will move away and that I won't come anywhere near her unless she's on her deathbed. I thanked her for raising me and left. I submitted my request to move my workplace to another branch so I can move to another state. I do not wish to be near my mother. I made sure my siblings will always be able to contact me if they need anything. I just signed up for therapy, and I hope it will help. I'm sad that this will mean I won't have any parental figure anymore, but that's life. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Parents, children are your own people. You can see right here that this is a potential path that your child can go down if you don't treat them in a way that they want / need to be treated. Now, if your child turns out to be a little piece of shit, psychopath, serial killer, rapist, racist, hateful individual, then of course, no, you don't have to capitulate and try to come to even grounds, learn and grow to accept them. Fuck no. You don't have to be accepting of those kind of people. But parents, you need to always learn to and stick with the mindset of being progressive, to always want to grow and learn more, because your children are going to grow up in a different time than when you grew up, and they're going to be surrounded with different things than what you're surrounded with. There's going to shape them, their personalities, and the way that they think and act, and that is going to have them maneuver through life differently than you. It's going to have them think differently than you, enjoy, like, and hate things differently than you. So you have to know and understand that this creature that you grew, this person, this human being that you raised, is not you or yours. That's the simple reality of it, right? They're going to grow up, and if you raise them in a manner that either they break out because they've repressed it for so much, and it floods out the floodgates how they think and how they talk, and what they think about you, or just simply enough, they say, hey, what you said was unacceptable. What you did was unacceptable. What you said, did, acted, I found untoward, unkind, not nice, wrong. That they're going to speak out, right? They're going to act in a certain way. And they're probably going to be right. They're probably going to be right. All right. You're old, you're moving slow, you're stuck in your ways. You have to be receptive. You have to be able to listen. You have to be able to open up, be able to be changed, grow, learn, develop continuously for your entire life. Or you can be like this person in this story and lose your firstborn. And maybe they're fine with it because, hey, their house is being paid for, their bills are being paid for, but that's just the culture they live in. That's just the culture they live in. Because here's the edit. A lot of people are telling me that I should have just cut her off financially as well, but I cannot. Here, my siblings and I are legally required to take care of our elders. In this case, my mother. Legally. You hear that part that I just read? Legally. I'd be charged with neglect if I don't. You hear that? Charged with neglect. My uncle, however, is not required to take care of her. He has his own nuclear family, his wife and kids, to look after. I am the only one among my siblings working and having a stable income, so responsibility falls on me to take care of her, at least financially. Once my siblings have a stable job as well, they will have to do the same. So here's what I thought, like the previous story before I read this update. Right, this obviously isn't cool, but the thought that I had was that the state should do this, right? And I had the thought that, she lost her husband at six. At six? She lost her husband when her oldest daughter was 6 years old, right? So let's say the youngest is 23, but she would have had potentially multiple children, 4, 5, 6. I hope not 6 kids altogether. Oof. But six children in 6 years, several children. So that's 12 years minimum, 17 years, 18 years maximum, where you have to take care of kids by yourself on a single income because either you did or didn't want to get remarried or couldn't get remarried, didn't want to, right? And that's a cool, fine choice. The government, the state should step in with some tax dollars to help you out. Survivor benefits should be a thing, right? Not in the normal ways I think happens. Is survivor benefits a thing through the state automatically? Yeah, because that's a phrase and it's a term. Huh. Let's learn about survivor benefits right now. Boop. Let's go to Google. Because I said it, and I'm like, it should be a thing, but then I said the exact phrase, and I'm like, wait, hold on. It obviously is a thing. I can't spell the word survivors, apparently. I forgot to put the R. Let me see. Oh, my God. Children. Let's see what AARP says. So I don't want to read what the fucking AI says. Social Security was conceived as a guaranteed retirement benefit for American workers, but it quickly grew to provide for families as well. 4 years after the program's inception in 1935, Franklin D. Roosevelt signed legislation extending benefits to deceased workers' wives. It was 1939, after all. Minor children, and in rare instances, aged parents. So okay, minor children. What counts as a minor child? Over the years, survivor benefits became gender neutral and expanded further to cover divorced spouses, as well as widowers and widows. Okay. In March 2025, they accounted for 8.4% of Social Security recipients, providing payments to more than 5.8 million people. These payments, calculated on the basis of the late loved one's lifetime earnings, offer a crucial measure of financial protection in the aftermath of loss. Here are 10 key things spouses should know about Social Security survivor benefits. You become eligible at age 60 usually. Okay. Well, the older you are, the more the monthly payment increases if you wait. Okay. Surviving spouses may be able to begin drawing benefits at age 50 if they have a disability, and at any age of caring for a child of the late beneficiary who is younger than 16 or has a disability and is entitled to childhood Social Security benefits on that basis. Oh, okay. So if you're younger than 16, you can get these. Can my children get my Social Security benefits when I die? Strictly speaking, no one gets your benefits when you die. However, your children might qualify for Social Security survivor benefits based on your earnings and benefit calculation. Huh. That's interesting. That's like a rolling. I wouldn't call them a scam, but it's rolling cash, right? You keep putting in, you keep putting in, you keep putting in. But if you die, nobody gets that. That's fine. That's fine. It's for the benefit of society, right? Everyone should benefit from things that you can't take advantage of when you're gone, right? Otherwise, we would just have a whole bunch of houses sitting that no one can buy up because it was just yours. All your stuff would just be sitting just because it was just yours. If there weren't certain things in place to get things sold, right? If everything just became stagnant, if your cold hard cash was in gold and it just sat, there was just cold hard cash, then other people needed cold hard cash because they're suffering from life, they're poor, they're in poverty, then that money couldn't go anywhere because you're dead and gone and no one's allowed to use it. That would just be a terrible thing. I can't even feel weird about it. I started to think and feel weird, and then I kept thinking after that split second. I was like, nah, it's fine. My taxes went into Social Security. It's helping out other people. It's cool. It's whatever. How do children qualify? To be eligible, children must be unmarried, with very limited exceptions, see below, and meet one of these criteria. They are under 18 years old, they are attending school full-time, up to 12th grade, but are no older than 19 and 2 months. Social Security formally extended child survivor benefits to full-time college-age students up to age 21, but Congress repealed this provision in 1981. Oh, there's some dickheads. Or they have a disability that dates before they turn 22, in which case benefits can continue regardless of age. Oh, I like that. And that would just be a different kind of disability benefit that a person would get after 22. But I don't know how that will work. Okay. I don't know how much money people get and what the calculations are, because this is just AARP talking about this. But yeah, hopefully this is a fair amount. I wonder if there's like a percentage based upon where a person lives and how old the child is, because things cost more or less depending on how old you are. I assume things are like the same from like, I don't know, 8 to 18 cost wise. Maybe like the food new intake goes up like 10 to 18 or 12 to 18. Yeah, let's read some comments by OP after we get that tip-top comments. So we always got to get that top comment. Tired Tonight 101 says, but why are you paying for her? I was really hoping you would stop that. Yes, she's your mom, but you have siblings and she has a brother. And if she is young enough to do all she is doing for your siblings, she is young enough to support herself. I'm so sorry for you. OP, you deserve a better mom, but you'll never get that. So you should save your money and take care of yourself. Find your own family and be happy. Stop paying for your horrible mom. Yeah, it's the reality is that we now know that she legally has to pay for her. But that's like a scam in whatever country that's in. Because it's like, oh, fuck, I'm so tired. I just want to retire, right? Rather than like retire at 60, 62, 63, 64, 65. I don't even know what the retirement age might be there. Then she's legally required to take care of her. I think in like a lot of instances, people should be required to retire at age 60, period. Shouldn't be able to get a job in like specific fields post that. But you should be able to like do some cool part-time stuff, give back to your community, help out in like really certain ways that allows you to like pass on your knowledge to further generations and be like available for certain instances where your specialized skill sets may be necessary, you know, because like the people who worked on the people who are alive who worked on the specific missions to the moon in the 60s and the 70s. Did we do some trips in the 80s? I'm not a nerd. I'm not that kind of nerd. those people are like still alive and still old. But when it came time for Nazi Elon, to get his work on with those ships, it was like a lot of things that were just outdated. And he was like, "Hey, how did y'all do this shit?" And they were so fucking old, they couldn't explain it. Like those businesses don't exist anymore. They're gonna be like some specialized pieces of knowledge that just get like lost into time and death. So those things need to be passed on, taught, and also characterized. What's the word I'm looking for? Written down, written down. No AI. Oh shit. Ooh, Jesus Christ. Okay, let's read this. Some long ass reading from a comment by Jesse Faye that OP replies to. Do you have a certain lifestyle you're supposed to fund for her? Can it, excuse me, be the bare minimum? She won't starve. She has the house and the bills are paid for, but you don't have to pay for gifts she gives to your siblings. Correct? Obviously, my culture is different than yours. I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand what you're required to do. I understand in some countries as an actual legal requirement, or there was. Your mom seems you to have stopped working awfully young. Your mom seems to have stopped working awfully young. You put the word "you" in there for no reason. How long have you been supporting her? Can you create a fund to support your mother so that if she spends it wisely, she will be able to live on just the interest for her life? If she spends the principal, she won't have any money later in life. You can get your siblings to help contribute to the fund's balance. Then wash your hands of your mother. Your siblings can do as they please financially. You will have done your duty. If she overspends and needs more money, she can get a roommate. I understand in your culture there's a duty to repay what was given to you by your parents. In your case, financing you for 18 years. Can you stop paying after 18 years? If she lives to be 100 plus, you will have to support her for 40 plus years? That doesn't seem fair. You'll be older than she is now. You must repay the financial support she gave to you. What about the emotional support? Are you expected to support her emotionally? Even if she didn't support you emotionally? I wish the fact that she keeps saying it, even in front of witnesses, that you aren't her daughter would mean you are no longer required to support her. I guess it doesn't work that way, nor she wouldn't be saying it. I also am assuming that in your culture, that is an insult. They are hurtful words, right? Best of luck. If I had to support my mother, I would not have been able to do it. Wow. Wow. I would have just had to take whatever negative thing that happens when someone doesn't financially support their parents. Wow. Like lightly, even giving you all the information, I help my parents out financially. I don't mind that. I would feel like shit if they were fucking homeless, right? Even if that was like a large detriment, to like my finances. It's like, oh shit, I gotta sell my camera equipment and my computer. I can never make art anymore. Like I have to take care of them like physically because they're ill. Like I would probably fucking do it. Yeah, would I hate it not being able to have like all the shit that I got, like, and then being able to do the things that I enjoy to do? Yeah, I would fucking do it, dog. Hi, mom, because I know you're gonna watch this. Shout out to you for not being a piece of shit like the mother of this woman in this story. Um, is that even a proper shout out? Do I even have to like thank you appropriately? Thank you for not being an emotional vampire asshole. Like I don't know. Let me read OP's reply. Yes, funding the bare minimum, housing, food, and bills, electric, phone, medical, and water bills specifically. Any other purchase is considered luxury/recreation and is not my responsibility. Yes, it is a legal requirement to take care of the elderly in my family. I'd be Why do you say elderly in your family, not just your mom? I'd be charged with neglect if I just leave her completely. There is also a social stigma around children that abandon their parents. They would be considered unfilial. Unfilial. Have I never said that word out loud before? Filial, unfilial, and unwholesome? I don't know the correct English word for it. Basically, they won't be a good role model for society. Requests for promotions or salary increase could be rejected for this social stigma. Cutting my mother completely is not an option for me. Too many cons. Yeah, that's fucking stupid. I already started a fund for my mother 4 years ago when she started living with me. She retired at 55. Damn. She retired at 55, started living with me at 56. 55 plus is the recommended age to retire. She is considered, well, that's not a bad thing. She is considered old by the government. If I had a hard time comprehending why people told me she's still young because of this, initially, I read that in a weird way. My bad. I'd imagine in the West, 55 plus is still young and working age. People work themselves till they die. They die at work. They don't die at home peacefully, surrounded by family. Their life, the light of in their life goes out on the job while the clock is punched. Yep. And yes, my siblings will help take care of her as well as soon as they have stable income. We are legally required to take care of her until the day she dies. So, yes, perhaps unfair, but what can you do? At least I plan to be the cool spinster auntie. So, no marriage plans. I am expected to support her financially. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm expected to support her emotionally, yes. Even after all that, it's why I had to leave. Harder to fulfill my social obligation when I'm very far away. At best, she can only reach me by phone. My siblings are on the lookout if she plans to come to me. She cannot stand being alone and abandoned, traumatized by my father's death. This is also why it took me a while to make up my mind and leave. My guilty conscience, as well as my remaining goodwill towards her, was what made me endure for so long. My feelings towards my mother is not negative at all. It's not all negative. It's complicated. I both resent and love her, even now. Her words are hurtful insults, yes. It's like calling me a good-for-nothing leech. Thank you for understanding and kind words. I am blessed to have come across this this subreddit. Fuck. This makes this like so even more fucked up when I have to come over here and I have to read this update. We're over here in r/estranged adult child. I visited my mother on her deathbed. I went no contact with my mother a few months ago after I aired out my grievances. Turns out that way before I started my no contact, she was sick. Something to do with her immune system failing, and she never told anyone. Me going no contact supposedly accelerated it because I caused her stress. My little brother called and said I need to come see her for the final time, so I did. During the time I went no contact, she never called me, never asked me to come back. My siblings told me she kept up with my social media, though. Some part of me hoped it was her missing me, but I don't know. Admittedly, I find it very hard to not blame myself for leaving, even though I also knew I just did what I could to save myself. It's such a strange thing, visiting her during her final moments. I did not feel anything, even when she saw me and called out my name and didn't say sorry. I couldn't do anything. My mother passed away 3 days ago. Now, I'm truly an orphan. And I have to take care of my siblings. My mother was good to my siblings, so now they're crying and I don't know how to comfort them over the woman who had been selectively favoring her children. I thought I'd be happier and had peace with her gone, but I can't feel anything. I can't believe I'm grieving over a mother that was never emotionally available to me. You're only grieving because you never got true, proper closure to your feelings and your thoughts, and through space and time, right? You distanced yourself, but you did not have enough time away from her. You didn't get to forget certain things and harp and fixate on others. You didn't get to go through the proper throes. It was a handful of months and she was gone. You got fed up with her, had your split, started to try and develop a new part of the life for yourself, and then she went and died. Shit, she might even have to flip in who she was as a person with your siblings and retired as early as she did because she knew she was dying. That's a possibility. And she wanted to be who she knew that she wasn't for you, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, despite how fucking stubborn she was. For your younger siblings, she thought, probably in her own sick and twisted mind, that they needed it more. Even though I can only imagine that your youngest sibling is like 23, like no 23-year-old wants their mother all up their ass. Like when they're trying to develop and grow their own life, if they're going through college or just got out, right? No one. My feelings are complex. OP needs therapy. The entire family needs therapy. Family therapy needs to be a thing because, like, for the next 40 years, you're going to be talking shit about your mom to your younger siblings, and they're going to view her in a better light, especially now that she's gone. Right? Like your mom may be angelized. What's the word I'm looking for? Sanitized? No, it's definitely like with the word angel in it. Angelized. Maybe I'm not pronouncing it right. Right? They're going to view her in such a very positive light. They're going to remove all the negative feelings, all the negative memories about her, and only remember the good. Right? For the people who pass in your life, you should remember the good and the bad. You should absolutely remember the good and the bad about them. And like I said, harping and fixating, you don't have to do that when it comes to those memories. But you should take it all in and don't let your mind twist a person who actually existed. You don't let them become a completely different person in your head. You don't. And I know it's really hard to accept the good with the bad, especially when there's either so little or too much good or bad. But you got to remember them as they were. That's going to be the thing that helps you through the grieving process. Remember them as they were. Top comment about a deleted user. Me supposedly going no contact accelerated because I caused her stress. Them quoting OP's part of the story. Oh, sweetie, her illness caused her stress and her own decisions, thousands of them over the years, cost her a good kid, you, and then stopped her from reaching out to contact you. Your siblings asked you to reestablish contact. Your siblings told you your mother lurked in your social media. Your siblings probably are the ones who told you that your estrangement caused her stress. See the pattern? And now your siblings want you to step up and comfort them who were favored when you have your own grief to process. Save yourself first, my dear. Work through your own feelings. And if your siblings are adults, do them the favor of letting them work through their own feelings themselves. You did not free yourself from a dysfunctional mother only to step into her shoes. Wishing you peace, strength, and absolutely no guilt, OP. This is the comment right here. And unfortunately, OP did not reply to any of these comments here. You can go read the rest of these yourself if you want to. OP's username again is throwaway220898. Because I know I'm a notorious bastard for not putting links in the bios, the captions of these stories. I'm terrible. Man, it's gonna be therapy, dog. It's gonna be therapy. A grief counselor, someone who specializes in the loss of family. whether it be close or estranged. You got to look that up and find those people, even if it's got to be online, because maybe there's not a lot of them professionally in your country, because your country is a little weird. Maybe the therapist there would be a little weird as well, simply because of how the culture is. And as you see over here in America, with the Americans, we don't give a fuck. If you don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you. Oh, you died? Hot tour. Spit on the grave. We need a little palate cleanser after that story. So we are over in r/am I the asshole with a post by Nazi, spelled Naughtsee. All right. Am I the asshole for getting a cat that my roommate now regrets? Here's the backdrop. I used to live with 5 other people, 2 other couples, and my own girlfriend. My girlfriend and I went to a shelter to look at cats and dogs a while back, and I fell in love with a little kitten that we couldn't just leave there. So naturally, I sent a message to each one of my roommates about getting a cat, and every single one of them responded positively, except for one, who said, meh. Basically, time has passed, and 2 roommates have moved along to another place, and we're still here with the meh guy and his girlfriend. The cat is still very young and is still learning to avoid jumping on tables, counters, etc. She's also very vocal sometimes and will meow for attention. Recently, my roommate thought it was a funny/good idea to buy a small water gun to spray the cat from across the room whenever it does something he doesn't like. He and his girlfriend just die laughing when they spray the poor thing, and it has no idea why or where it's being sprayed from. I explained to him as nicely as I could that water can get in the cat's ear and cause painful ear infections, and that I prefer him to just tell me where he doesn't want the cat, and I'll try to do the disciplining. Instead, he sends me a whole tirade about how I put the cat over him and that I never consider his feelings about the whole thing. Also, a ton of stuff about her biting and scratching, which has nearly completely been trained out of at this point. So, not 100%. And how we treat the cat like royalty, etc., etc. Am I insane? I was sent nearly like 400 words of just passive-aggressive, sarcastic, and straight-up rude tirade. Am I the asshole here? Yes. Yes, you are. You said that he said meh, basically. Meh? Basically? What did he say specifically? That's what I want to know. What did he say specifically? And if it's not a 100% enthusiastic yes, you do not have consent. If you are asking for permission, if you are asking for consent, if it's not 100% enthusiastic, say it with me, people now, you do not have consent. And I know we're talking about getting a cat, but when you're talking about getting the cats or giving the cats, if you don't have 100% enthusiastic consent, you don't have consent. All right. So, let's just read some comments. Because dude here's the asshole to me. The top comment by Inuit Over It with 33 upvotes. On the one hand, you really should have gotten explicit permission from every roommate before getting the cat. I'm allergic to cats, and my quality of life would go way down if my roommate just decided to bring one home one day. On the other hand, you gave him a chance to say no, and he just said, meh. I suspect you knew he didn't want you to get one, but you did it anyway because he didn't actually say no, which is pretty assholey. The roommate is definitely an asshole for being so passive-aggressive about everything. I say both assholes. You for not caring about your roommate's desires and I have a cat, and him for being rude and passive-aggressive about it. The fact of the matter is y'all just so happen to be at a shelter just looking at these animals and you didn't already go over this with your roommates. right? It's not your pet when you have four other roommates. It's a house pet. It's a house pet. If the cat is going around the entire house and doesn't strictly live within your room, it is not just your pet, right? It's strictly because you are not the only two people on the lease. There are four other people on the lease, potentially, or at least two. The other people living there have responsibilities for that pet, of that pet now. Because if they just let the cat out on accident, you would be mad at them. But very strictly, I'm sure you said to them that it's not their responsibility. Let's read even more. Sarah M. Gray responds to Inuit over it, saying, unless I'm reading it incorrectly, the roommate didn't respond with meh. OP just characterized his response that way here. And Nazi, our OP, original poster, if you don't know what OP means, says, I think his actual response included the word meh. But yes, he was clearly at least somewhat opposed. Why can't you just go to your phone right now and pull up the quote from the group chat? Sarah M. Gray responds to that. If you in fact interpreted his response as meaning he was opposed to any degree to the cat, then you're definitely an asshole. I mean, I get where you're coming from. I love pets, but that was an asshole move. And then to not proactively address your roommate's concerns? Did you even bother asking what the objections were or work with him to resolve any specific problems? Have you honestly made a consistent effort to accommodate him in regards to the cat that you knew he didn't want to live with? It sounds like you haven't. And your response to the cat's jumping on the furniture was completely dismissive, as an example. You've handled criticism here gracefully. Gracefully? Why did I say it like that? Gracefully. So I'm inclined to think you are generally a decent sort of fellow, but you have been such a complete and utter asshole to your roommate. And he was completely justified in ranting at you. If you are a decent sort of fellow, you should probably do something about that. And OP replies to Sarah. I love the bold, honesty, because they're typing with bold words, bold characters from time to time, bold letters. I think that because everyone else was on board, and I interpreted his objections as relatively small. By this, I mean, I thought that he was on the fence. I just went for it. I thought he really would warm up to it. Alas, in my quest to be a cat dad, I stepped on my roomie's toes and wound up an asshole all the same. Yeah, the realities are and is you didn't give these people enough time to think. You were already in there. You were already looking at pets to bring home, and you send a quick text to the group chat. Like in a split moment, somebody can say yes, think about it, sleep it over, sit on the toilet about it, and go talk to their homies, their besties, their family members, their partners, their fucking therapist over a span of a week, and come to a definitive conclusion with an entire list of reasoning why it's a no from just a yes. So no, you knew what you were doing. You were kind of actually manipulative with the shit, honestly. Yeah, you were a super asshole. You and your girlfriend. I wonder if you did this so totally purposefully, and like what your roommate said was explicitly a fuck no, right? But since he didn't say the exact letters NO, you come up with your mind, and to us, the viewers and the readers, and whoever may listen to you in real life, plausible deniability. You are a stochastic terrorist. You're a piece of shit. Yeah, you're an asshole. Man, this motherfucker you have is a question. A question for you. The situation was a total of 6 people. 5 were explicitly okay with the cat. 1 was begrudgingly accepting it, it seemed. Do you think it's all or nothing in these situations? You go from meh to you can see that he's opposed to accepting now. What the fuck? In these comments between your posts. No, this no, sneaky asshole. Sneaky asshole. I see why you got your username as Nazi. You're probably a white supremacist. You're a dick. I don't like you. I don't like you at all. I hope your cat ran away to a better home, to a better family. Nazi. Yo, did I spill water on my shirt? Did I spill water on my shirt? Perfect excuse to have a fit check. Fit check. I know in the last couple episodes. I've been doing my thing at the very beginning and having a fit check, but that was mostly so like I didn't forget. And just so I can like hop straight into the episode and not like ruin the succession of me just consistently reading out stories to y'all. But I started this one off and the vibes just weren't there. The vibes just weren't there. And in between stories, I always drink a bit of water. And since I don't have a Stanley sponsorship, it just gave me that little bit of time to read some water, find out that there's a hole in my lip somewhere, and spill some water everywhere. So I let that be a transition into the fit check. Fit check. Fit check. Yes, I have to bring my voice all the way from a very high pitched place back down to the depths where y'all like it. Yeah. Oh man, I'm silly. We're over in r/Am I the Asshole with a post by Soviet Bear 26. Am I the asshole for being honest with my wife and telling her I regret agreeing to have another baby? Ooh. We already have 2 kids. Both are teens, so in a few more years, we would have been done with child rearing and free to go back to pursuing our own interests. I'm not at all blaming my wife for what happened. I did agree to have another child, and I accept responsibility for it, but it doesn't change the fact that I regret this decision. Almost since the moment I found out she was pregnant again, I felt off and just haven't been happy about it. Meanwhile, she is thrilled, so it's hard for me to talk with her sometimes because our enthusiasm levels are out of sync. She has asked me at several points if I am happy about the baby, and each time I lied and said I was just surprised and taking it all in. Now, at this point, I don't feel like I can keep faking it because I am sure about my feelings. So the last time she asked me, I admitted my true feelings. Now I regretted this decision and I wish I could undo it. I thought that she might be sympathetic and interested in trying to help me work through it, but she can only focus on how disappointed she was in me for not feeling the same way about the baby or being excited in any way. She doesn't think I should have told her and should have kept this to myself. She believes telling her makes me an asshole while I disagree because I feel I should have been able to be honest with my wife about my feelings and concerns. Yo, is it the hormones? Do I get to like use this as like an excuse rather than like a jab at your wife? Because she's being a fucking asshole. This is such a no-no. This is unacceptable, honestly. Are you the asshole? No. And if you're regretting and you're reflecting on your thoughts, you can think that you might be an asshole to yourself for even getting your wife pregnant. But this spawned a question in my mind just within the moments of me reading this. So the last 2 minutes, I need the people to answer this question. Please comment down below. Men can continue to get women pregnant all the way damn near up until the day they die. Women, if you could successfully give birth until you're in your 70s, would you? You knew for a fact that you were going to make it to 90 years old because every single one of your mothers and every single woman in your family made it to 90 years old. Would you, at 70 years old, pop a baby out? Because you can see them through and until their early 20s for sure, guaranteed. Would you pop a baby out? Not in your 20s and in your 30s. Would you do it in your 40s and in your 50s and your 60s? If you could do it, would you do it? Same level of complications as usual. We're just removing we're removing menopause and miscarriage. Yes, right. Same level of complications. We might even downscale like normal death and complications that take place that happened in your late 30s compared to your early 20s, right? Because it's just fucking easier to have a baby when you're in your early 20s compared to your late 30s. Would you have a baby at any later stage in your life? Right? Not this story right here. Not, oh, the kids are 15. Now my youngest has a 15-year age gap, 14, 13, 12, whatever, right? A decade plus, right? Because I have that kind of age gap with my sister. But if you were in your 40s and your 50s, if you were in your 60s, ladies, would you get pregnant again? If you are in your 50s or your 60s, do you think, I wish I could have another baby? I'm so curious. Because I just thought of this. Top comment by River Redhead. No assholes here. You aren't ditching wife and baby. You're allowed to be regretful and angsty, and she's allowed to not like it. No. I don't like your comment. And you got 667 upvotes. And Curtsy replies, and frankly, she kept asking again and again, how often do people feel comfortable lying to their spouse? Hey, you got to be straightforward with your peoples. You got to be open and honest. You got to, hey, because matter of fact, maybe she's even having this kind of reaction because she spoke about it with you for so many days, weeks, months, because I don't know how far along she is. And here you are now just finally being honest. So maybe she feels a bit of betrayal. Maybe she feels that dishonesty in you. So maybe that's why she lashed out. Yeah, that's a possibility. So maybe she's not like a super crazy asshole. Let's read some more comments. Where's a comment that OP replied to? Boop. So we got a comment by JKSHFJLSKSHA. I'm gonna stop reading usernames. I swear to God. Why did you agree to have another kid? And OP responds. OP responds. It was mostly her idea, but I thought some of the points she raised made sense. And this got them 27 downvotes, negative 27 upvotes. They're in the hole. And the JK username, because I'm not reading that whole thing again. Did you have reservations before? Did you really think it through? Because obviously you aren't the asshole for having feelings now, but you absolutely are if you decided to bring a child into this world you knew you didn't fully want. And OP replies to this. I did, but we worked through them before we started trying. Now they are back again, and I feel like we were fooling ourselves about a lot of things. No, and no, because Slack Starter says it. They have the comment I just thought in my head. It sounds like your wife convinced you and you tried to be optimistic because you love her. But now reality is rearing its ugly head, not the asshole. Guys, I'm 31. I'm 31. If I'm 35 and I'm not married and I already have some kids on the way, I'm really not going to be trying 36, 37, 38, 39. I'm really not going to be trying at those ages. If a baby happens and I'm financially stable to the point where I can afford triplets, right? Let's throw a random quadruplets, right? Let's throw a random number out there. Because once I'm 36, 37, I definitely wouldn't want to try. I wouldn't want to put my wife through all the potential miscarriages and want to potentially push out terrible genetic material from my body. That would proceed to produce a offspring that may have a plethora of health complications. If I'm not there by 35, I'm not trying. I'm not trying. I'm not actively working towards having a kid. So This shit right here, being convinced into it is not gonna happen with me, dog. It's not gonna happen with me, dog. Accidents are fine. Like accidents are fine, right? We get that information that like the baby's gonna be cool and fine, the Danny and all that. Yeah, all right. So okay, whew. I wasn't pushing out terrible genetic material because you already know how I feel on the specifics, right? A person for like a whole year plus prior to having a child should be working to maximize their physical and their mental health to the highest degree. So specifically for men, so that the sperm that they have that goes into the egg could be the best possible genetic material possible to form your child. That's a terrible sentence. And here I am stuttering to get my words out. Yeah. But that's how it works, right? The sperm in the man's body takes about 6 months to form up, and then it's in the ball sack for a certain number of days, and I think it's reabsorbed in the protein. I think it's like 3, right? But that's why we need sex ed and health in school the entire time. These are normal things. This should be like base level information that I should just have locked into my mind. But I didn't find this out until my late 20s and the early 30s. I'm 31. I'm old, you guys. My knees and my shoulder and my back hurts. My back. Oh. My back. And the fact of the matter that OP got convinced into it, dog. He got finessed. And I don't even know if she's even gonna feel, even if she's even gonna feel like this is her fault that he feels a certain kind of way. I just hope he doesn't like dip out in his family, right? Because you already did all the diaper changes. You already did all that decade plus ago, and here you are looking forward to like a hot 20 years before retirement where you can just do fun shit because your kids are most likely gonna be out the house. Because if you did a good job as college, straight to their own crib. Right, but yeah, matter of fact, yeah, because the time period right here, time wise, the kids wouldn't have even had to deal with COVID like fucking up the economy for them. Matter of fact, they might be dealing with a bad economy right now just because of AI. Yeah, the kids are probably grown. They probably can't get any. They probably can't get any jobs. Yeah, because it's supposed to 6 years old, so they probably got like a fucking. They got like a kindergartner or a little first grader running around, and the kids are at home because they can't get any good jobs. It doesn't allow them to live on their own because life is so fucking expensive, dog. These corporations ain't shit, bro. This government ain't shit, dog. Oh my God. We got one more comment that OP replies to. Sammy Loops 1 says, "You're the asshole. You agreed to have another child, and of course your wife is very disappointed that you changed your mind after she was already pregnant." Are they pro-life? Are they pro-abortion? Like what? She has to go through this pregnancy with the knowledge that you don't want the baby. That's going to be a huge stressor for her. As soon as she sees the baby for the first time, and assuming you're there for it, she's going to be thinking about how much you don't want this child. She's going to be sad thinking about this all the time. Any activities you do while your child is growing up, she's going to be wondering if you really want to be there. What did you hope to accomplish by telling your wife this? Did you want her to get an abortion? Did you want her to feel bad? I honestly don't know why you do this to her after the fact. But you got it off your chest, so I guess that's what matters. And OP says, "I wasn't hoping to achieve anything other than stop having to pretend I'm happy about it." And Sammy Loops replies, "Well, that's great because now she knows you're not happy. She can live the rest of her life knowing that the father of her child never wanted it. That was really good of you to let her know after she was already pregnant. As long as you're happy, you caused her to be sad and depressed. I guess it's mission accomplished. Too bad she doesn't have a time machine to go back and not marry you. You only think of yourself." Yo, if I can downvote this, I would. Yo, you're fucking dragging it, dog. Okay, here's a comment. Artemis Theron replies to Sammy Loops, this loopy head ass motherfucker. Hey, whoa. Pump the brakes. Sounds like you have some unresolved issues of your own there. OP is actually doing something very healthy right now. Rather than bottling up his emotions and letting them fester, he is saying, yes, this is how I feel. We get so bitchy about toxic masculinity and men bottling up their feelings and passing that behavior on. But the instant they actually admit to a feeling that isn't sunshine and rainbows, we get pissy about it and tell them, no, you're not supposed to do that. No wonder they're confused. Geez, look, he isn't saying he doesn't want anything to do with the kid or his wife. What he is saying is that he regrets initially agreeing to have another kid. And frankly, his wife is not blameless here. Have y'all ever dealt with a woman hell bent on having kids? Or empty nesters who are young enough to have another? They can be nightmares to deal with. OP and his wife need to go sit down with a therapist and learn to communicate with each other more effectively. And while we're at it, you might consider a few sessions yourself, Sammy Loops 1. Because dang, that's a lot of hostility towards a stranger over something relatively non-abusive. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I ain't got no other input. This is the story. These are the comments. Yeah, shout out to Artemis Theron. Yeah. It's the last story of the day. It's the last story of the day. Should I make up a little theme song? Actually, I really do want like a theme opener. I super want a theme opener so badly. I should like compose that. Like a theme opener and theme closer. I could have my boy Vinny like do a couple bars on it. I can get that produced and made. Yeah. Rather than like the normal intro I have with just the logo and the lightning and the shit that probably destroys your eardrums whenever y'all listen to it. And sometimes you're all probably like, why the fuck is this shit so loud? It makes me not want to watch. My bad. We got a post. We're over in r/am I the asshole with a post by Plastic Man Rules. And no, he doesn't. He's a creep. Am I the asshole for telling my sister she needs to dress professional for an interview? My 17 female, a sister, 20 female, had an interview yesterday for an internship / placement for an animation company. This company specifically works with her university and only gives out one job a year. Essentially, she'd take a year off of school to work with them, then return and graduate the year after. It's full-time and paid, and if the company are interested, they can potentially offer a job once she graduates. My sister's an incredible animator, and there's absolutely no way she won't get the job, except for one thing, how she dresses. I'm not insulting her or trying to dim her sparkle in any way, but my sister dresses very uniquely. Her style consists of bright colors, tons of patterns, only vintage / thrifted items, and the ugliest jewelry known to man. I don't really like her style, but my sister has dealt with bullying her whole life, and it's exciting to see her finally let go of people's opinions of her. However, I think she's lost the average person's understanding of casual in the process. The issue at hand started yesterday when my sister told me that our mom was urging her to dress more professional for her interview. My mom has worked at a very traditional office for the past 20 odd years and works in a leadership position where she oversees a small group of people. Essentially, professional clothes and interviews are kind of her thing. My sister, however, wasn't happy with my mom. I've been saying mom, but it's my mom, and asked me to tell her to stop. Unfortunately, I agreed with our mum. This British shit this is silly to me. I told my sister it wouldn't be horrible if she wore something plainer for her interview, as people were extremely judgmental and could feel she was being disrespectful if she wore something totally crazy. As I was speaking, I watched her get more upset, and I regretfully kept going, and eventually suggested maybe she borrowed something from Mum, who has countless plain cute tops to wear, and my sister got very upset. She accused me of trying to change her or make her normal, and also said how animation was different from other jobs, and her interviewers slash future coworkers would probably be dressed very casually. To me, this isn't true. In my opinion, the career doesn't matter. You dress professionally to an interview. She continued to get upset, and as I explained this and cut me off and told me to stop, I immediately turned and left the room without a word. And I was very upset as I was just trying to help her, and she kept disagreeing with me. The main problem came when I went to bed early, very upset, and she went and told all of this to our parents, though according to my mom, with a very different series of events. I've been in a bad mood all day, and due to some mood issues that I've been having, I have started to spiral down into a considerably bad week. However, I've started wondering if I was being rude for asking her to dress nice and should maybe apologize. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. If she's gonna dress like a fucking, I don't even know what to say. Like whatever you and your mom thinks isn't professional. I don't. My mom. That just gets to me. It's just me, mom. I'm a dirty American. I can't even get their. I can't even get their accent right. Yo, Tom Holland's a G for coming over here. He had the little sprinkle of that New York accent and Brand New Day. That shit, man. That shit tickled my soul. I felt it. It felt so nice. It felt so nice. He wasn't just some like bland ass accent having motherfucker. Right. That bit of that New York, that's the first time I really heard that New York accent in a Spider-Man. Man. Top comment by external pin 9079. For a normal office job, I agree with you and your mom. But in the creative field, I don't think showing herself through her dress is any sort of problem. The general advice is to tailor your attire for your job, for the job you're applying for. For example, when my granddad went for his first job in a factory, the guy who was hiring went down the row of candidates and took on everyone who come wearing steel-toe capped boots. Actually, I like that. I was going to disagree with this comment, but this is spot on right here. But it becomes like a bit of a discrimination in like today's age though, right? Because if I think I'm coming to an interview for anything, I'm coming like suit attire, and I hate wearing suits, like button down, tie, slacks, functional, nice shoes. And I don't think I own any dress shoes at this point. We can have another conversation another day about why I hate suits, but not today, because it is 2:22 a.m. Make a wish for some dumb shit like that. Ambitious Eddie replied to external pin saying, I worked for a guy who told me he never hired anyone who came in wearing white shoes because they wouldn't want to get them dirty by doing hard work. Small things can have meaning. Who's wearing white shoes to an interview? And if they are wearing white shoes to an interview, especially like some hard labor, dirty ass jobs, then they're probably doing that on purpose to not get hired. A sexy man doll, which I assume is a woman because of the character, their profile picture, replies to Ambitious Eddie. Not like people have more than one pair of shoes, usually wearing their nicer ones to make a good impression in an interview, then switching to work shoes when they show back up for their first day. The OP replies to the original top comment, external pin, saying, very interesting. No one we know has had a job in the creative field, so I think we're all a little unsure. Thank you. And Shredder Sweet says, it's very normal to expect an art or design student to wear colorful clothes, even for a prestigious studio. Artists see the world differently, and we value what they bring, not what they wear. I work in tech, and my wonderful UE designers tend to have the more colorful and alternative styles and tattoos when everyone else is in hoodies and jeans. Don't dim her sparkle. Her creativity is part of her talent. Bro, y'all see the shirts I be wearing, right? Shout out to Lobo R Studios. If y'all ever want to get any tees from him, Lobo R Studios down in Texas. And I'm not rocking this t-shirt to an interview. Like, you know what? Hold on. Let me, actually, hold on. So maybe if I had, because now I'm thinking about the gigs that I do. I do a lot of commercials and music videos. And if I was to do maybe something along the lines of like a documentary and someone wanted to hire me on as like a cinematographer, but like that first initial meeting to like see if they wanted to hire me on, would I rock something like this? Now this is actually like spawning like good thoughts in my mind, right? Because like previously, a job is a job is a job is a job, but like all the jobs I've had have been like retail, security, and factory work. But at every single one of those interviews and those interview phases, button down, button down, button down, right? And I secured the factory jobs. I secured the security jobs. It's not like I came, okay, let me wear my steel toe boots, or okay, let me have a muscle tee on, right? Or okay, retail. Let me come in with my dorm Becker nines and my I don't even own expensive jeans, but insert purple jeans, for fucking retail, but it's like almost 2 decades ago I did retail. I was a fucking kid. I was like 16 years old. What was it? 16 to 21. I did retail. And then kind of technically, I worked at Myers, but I went from stocking to working their security portion. What is it called again? Asset protection. Yeah. I did that, and then I did security at a bank afterwards. But technically, I kind of worked retail by working at Myers, but it's not like I sold anything for real. Yeah, I couldn't imagine like dressing specifically. So it's like a little bit of a stereotyping in my mind. Now that I'm thinking about this, my advice will always to be like, yeah, wear something very clean, very appropriate, even for a woman. Like express yourself. I can imagine like a bright red blouse, blue blouse, yellow, not green because I hate the color green, purple, right? And if I'm the interviewer, I wouldn't be mad at the interviewee wearing that. But if you came in with jeans and a t-shirt, all right, unless we're like a really niche kind of like environment, I couldn't. I would think, what the fuck went through in your mind? I would probably ask the question like, what made you come to this interview at this professional company in jeans and a tee? Right. I can see that you did your hair, you did your makeup, you washed your ass, you don't smell bad, you smell good. You're in jeans and some J's. What made you do that? And as I'm thinking about it too, imagine working at like a fashion brand, like a large fashion brand. You're not gonna come in some boring ass. Huh, man, this really got me thinking about it. This is super got me thinking about it. Matter of fact, the agony aunts, right? When there's like no underscores and it's all lowercase, I gotta like really try to break up the words. The agony aunt comments. Oh, they agreed to a different comment by Shredder Wheats. Oh, the comment that I just read about the don't dim our sparkle part. Yeah. I worked at a museum, and for some of the team, steel toe boots and Dickies work pants were a part of the regular work clothes, including our head curator, who otherwise wore suits to the office. Different sectors have different standards. I'm now in communications at a nonprofit, and while we have a loose business casual dress code for the days we're in the office, that's anything from our CEO, who wears a suit jacket, to the head of my department, who is a huge fan of architectural necklaces and drapey dresses. But this is the thing. It's not like what you wear at work. It's the interview portion. It's strictly the interview portion. And maybe that would be like a thing in their mind too. Like for the interviewers, it's like this motherfucker came to this creative ass interview and some boring ass shit. But even then, you can like spice things up. The necklaces, the rings, even some earrings. Oh, man, I gotta buy some earrings, dog. I gotta buy some really nice earrings so I can show off to y'all some stuff that like I think is really dope. And then y'all can like see them, some dangly things and like some nice little studs, just so I can show y'all. Because, like, why not accent your life? Why not accent your body? Once I get tatted too, I'll show y'all. Leopard Secret says, "You're the asshole, sorry. I completely agree with you, and it sounds like you're both trying to look out for her. However, you keep pressing the issue when she never asked for your opinion. Continuing to push when she's rejecting, it is not helpful to her. Sometimes you have to shrug and let people make their own choices." I really want to know what she wore to the interview. Like, what she was planning to wear, and then what she wore if she, like, made changes. And then, like, what you said to her that she should specifically wear, like, out of your mom's closet, and then, like, what your mom suggested to, right? Like, if you showed us outfits, I think we can make proper decisions on, like, if you're the asshole or not from there. Because even then, like, you're saying that your sister said the story is completely different from what you're telling us here. So, and this led to you having a fucked up week with how mad you've been. You need therapy for that if you're upset this entire week about her telling you to get out. But maybe this kind of spiraled into a big thing for you. I don't know. An individual check, 442 replies. She never asked for her opinion, but she asked her to insert herself into the argument with her mom on her side. OP only gave her opinion when she asked. No, I can't do that because I'm not on your side. You can't say, I've asked you to express an opinion that agrees with mine, but I didn't ask you for your opinion. She continued to push only to answer what the sister was saying back to her. Well, yeah, there's that part too. Yeah. Plastic Man Rules replies to Leopard Secret, not individual check. Thank you so much. I didn't mention in the post, but my whole family, is autistic, which sometimes makes communication for situations like this difficult. Because of this, there's never really been an issue with unsolicited advice in our house since we all assume we've missed out on something. LOL. Thank you so much, though. We'll definitely consider this a bit more in the future. And this got them negative 36 downvotes, or just 36 downvotes. That reads weird when I say it out loud in my brain. Larklad says, "You're the asshole. It is true that different industries have different standards for dress. It is also true that the environment your sister will be in, your sister will. It is also true that the environment your sister will be most comfortable in is also the environment she's most likely to succeed in. Let her be and find out herself what does and doesn't work." Yeah, here I am trying to, like, edit what a motherfucker is saying as I'm reading when their sentence is just fine. I guess that's a little karma for me. Plastic Man Rules, which is ROP, replies, "She did eventually wear something a bit more fun, a brightly colored striped top, but I was very concerned about her losing this amazing opportunity. Thank you so much, though. We'll definitely apologize." And this got them 42 upvotes. And Damien Nana 8 says, "This is ridiculous. I feel comfortable in sweats, but I'm not going to wear sweats to the interview. We put too much emphasis on personal comfort above professionalism and practicality. If someone isn't going to put forth the minimal effort, it sets a tone for the interviewer." This got them negative 43 upvotes. 43 downvotes. Why? And Larklad replies, saying, "You're reading way too much into the comment. We're talking about physically appropriate clothing, just stylistically louder versus quiet." And Velocity Raptor says, "Are we?" I really didn't get that sense from the post, although I see enough comments disagreeing with me that I'll admit I might have missed something. Is Damiana 8 and Velocity Raptor also autistic? Am I autistic? I got ADHD, but what's going on here? Wearing something bold or unique but professional is a great idea for an animation job. Wearing smelly / disorderly thrifted clothes and costume jewelry is not. As long as OP's sister wore something professional, it's fine to be patterned or brightly colored. It's not fine to just wear whatever you want and assume people don't have expectations for a professional dress in interviews. Lots of people still do, as much as I wish it didn't matter. And this got them 14 downvotes. What the fuck? Here, I'm giving them an upvote. And Reese811 says, yeah, we are. Okay. When I read the original fucking story, before we got to the comments, did it sound like we were talking about professional wear and not, hold on. Stylistically louder versus quiet. We're talking about physically appropriate clothing. Just stylistically louder versus quiet. No. It just sounded in the story that OP said, it sounded like she wanted to wear whatever the fuck she wanted to wear. We're moving on to another comment. Mads Z tier. Info. What makes her appearance unprofessional? It reads like you are conflating bright colors and prints with a lack of professionality, which is not true generally, and especially not true in a creative industry. This is the comment right here. Odd Prompt 6139 replies, that's what I'm wondering. Professional doesn't mean grayscale and devoid of personality. You can absolutely dress professional and still wear clothes that reflect your personality and style. I wore cardigan with strawberry appliques. The fuck is that? Strawberry what? Appliques? A decorative technique where smaller pieces of fabric, lace, or other materials are attached to a larger background fabric to create a picture, pattern, or texture. Huh. Applique. Oh, applique. Okay, appliques. I wore a cardigan with a strawberry appliques to an interview for a government office job and got the job. And OP replies. Let's see the comments. I think my version of professional is jeans/t-shirt. Jeans/plain t-shirt and some trainers. What she doesn't really have, she has super colorful jumpers, graphic tees, halter tops, wrap tops, etc., but nothing one solid color or dull color. She doesn't even have plain shoes. This comment deservedly got them 171 downvotes. 172. She's 17. She's 17, people. We read this story as the last story, and I purposely made this story be the last story, but I read that comment hours ago, and I forgot how stupid it was to me. Now, I am more upset now than when I read it then. I just thought, haha, so silly, dumb comment. Now I'm actually annoyed and pissed. Maybe it's because it's 2:37 a.m. Maybe it's because I read through all this and I took it so seriously and I wanted to give advice and really put my input in rather than, oh, I'll just be reading. Okay, this fits the thing. This is perfect. Boop. This is the last story of the day. All right, let's set everything up. Right. I don't really put my full all emotion hard away, like thoroughly into it. Right. I like get separated because I don't get to like read every single comment, like dive deeply. I like check to see, oh, are there comments by the OP? Are there any downvotes, upvotes, anything like crazy? Oh, it's kind of hard to find comments. Let me go ahead, open her profile up and see how many comments there are. I went scrolling and I saw she had a couple comments that were downvoted to hell. And that last one was the one that got downvoted to oblivion, 172. This post is 5 days old. That's a fucking fuck ton. Right. The top comment has how many upvotes again? Hold on. 1.47K. 1.4K. 1.47K. 1,400. 172 downloads is crazy because you got to get past a certain number of upvotes to take it to that negative point. And more people are still going to keep upvoting that. OP is just a dumb kid. That's all it is. OP is just a dumb kid. Dog. Professional is jeans and a t-shirt? Bro, you work at Burger King. That's not professional. They just don't want you to fuck up your good clothes. Some trainers? some trainers. Me mom told me to wear me trainers. This episode has been about regrets. And what I say about regrets, I don't want y'all to regret anything. I want y'all to work on doing better in life based upon the experiences that you had that are negative. No regrets. I regret reading this last story. I want you beautiful, wonderful, intelligent people, and you poorly educated need to be educated. Poorly educated need to be educated. Poorly educated need to be trained. Poorly educated need to read. Idiotic people to have a beautiful, wonderful day, night, week, month, and year. I've been your host, Mr. Always on 10. I appreciate you staying and lasting with me this long, especially when I am reading bullshit ass stories like these. At the very end, dog. I just didn't want to end on like a serious ass note. I thought like palate cleanser, cat story, palate cleanser, not so serious, work clothes story. But dog, peace out.